Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin. Guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up.
Good morning, good evening, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. It's Guerrilla Cricket, we're back. I'm back after the mayhem that was yesterday. India-Pakistan yesterday was quite a tight game. I was a bit upset that Pakistan didn't get over the line, I have to be honest. I kind of wanted them to beat India to make that group a little bit tighter and a bit more interesting. Pakistan probably out now, aren't they? USA are probably going to go through. Scotland could definitely go through. They fucking hammered Oman yesterday, which means we've got to do the same and then hope they get hammered by Australia and hope we can beat Namibia. Well, that was yesterday, but today... which I'm sure we'll talk about as the day goes on. But today we've got Bangladesh versus South Africa in game 21, and South Africa won a toss and they have decided to bat, which I think is a bit fucking dangerous on this pitch. I think you're better off knowing what you've got to chase, even though Pakistan didn't get there yesterday. Kind of know what you've got to do. I think it's quite tricky trying to set a score on this because you don't quite know how it's going to play. Now someone might make it look easy, just that one person in one team and put it out of everyone else's reach, but everyone else might look like it's a bloody minefield, which is kind of what it can be. Anyway, I'll give you some teams and then we'll discuss it. So South Africa batting first. They're going to go Reza Hendricks, Quinton de Kock, Aidan Markram, Heinrich Klaassen, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Marco Jansen, Keshav Maharaj, Kagiso Rabada, Alnrik Nortje and Otniel Bartman, who got a wicket with his first ball, got 4 for 11 in his first game, which undoubtedly he'll be happy with. David Miller, star of the show the other day. Someone did say to me they were 12 for 4, they were only chasing 102. I said, who's in? They said David Miller and someone else. I said, they'll get there. and he was there at the end, wasn't he? I mean, he's finally, for years, he was one of those players, I think, who people thought was going to be a superstar and consistent, but he didn't seem to me, and in the last 2 or 3 years he has. Anyway, enough of me yabbering away. I'm joined on my left, I've got James, who's joined me all the way from Kensal Green.
Kensal Green, yeah, I mean, the way you're saying that makes it sound like it's the other side of the country, but hello everyone. Yes, I'm really looking forward to this, and also looking forward to David Miller. Like you say, I think the reality is, with the low scores, players like him can be superstars in this competition. Yes. It's a competition of cameos at the moment. If you can knock off a really quick 40 or 50, you can win the game for your team.
Well, you can. I mean, that game in England, no one got a 50 in the England game, did they?
Yeah, it was poor.
It was. Right. But there was 3 or 4 scores of 40, and 2 of those were really quick. By the Australians, unfortunately. In fact, Joss's was pretty quick as well. And of course, from the Weather Cave in Perth, he's been buying, what was it we were buying? Traps for...
Possum trap.
Possum trap. Which is basically like a big squirrel trap, as we've discovered. Yeah. It's Messi Jez. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, Bear. I'm loving this World Cup. And I'm particularly impressed by James today, who is actually semi-transparent. I suspect you're wearing a green top.
You are. You're wearing a kind of green top.
So the green screen is coming
kind of
through.
Look ghostly.
As if you're not there.
Yeah. I'm only halfway there. I've been teleported here, Star Trek style, and I've got stuck halfway.
Stuck in the what's name beam.
It's like a Black Mirror episode. I'll never come through. Maybe I should take my green cardigan off.
Well,
Uh-oh.
as is tradition, I've not been doing too well this World Cup. I kind of keep winning, keep losing, and I'm pretty. Oh God, no! Don't do that. What are you doing? Fuck off.
Go under.
I'm going under. Of course, I'm going under, Messi. God, what are you?
Oh,
think I
that's
am?
James. He suddenly appeared.
Yeah, the technology
No, it was quite fun with the green.
has the future. Maybe later in the match, depending on how it's going, I might put it over my head.
Yes, that would be
Now,
good
what
to
I
have.
find really interesting is you have to pay for Sky, but if you're a Bet365 customer, you can pretty much watch it without commentary. And it's only, I swear, it's only 2 or 3 seconds behind the TV, not the usual,
Yeah.
15,
Same here
30
with
seconds.
Sportsbet. Yeah.
Which is quite mad, considering how much people, and it's the same with all the cricket now, the test matches in England and all that shit. So if you want to get around, I suppose, Bet365 must pay a pretty sum, I think, to Sky. But, I mean, does it compensate for their loss of potential customers?
Well, I think maybe the message there is become a gambling addict and get free TV. The rest of your life might fall apart around
I
you.
wonder if they've got a deal with Bet365.
Bet you they bloody have.
Maybe Bet365.
I'm sure they
maybe
have, yeah.
Bet365 actually owns Sky.
Yeah, I bet there's some connection.
They get some of the winnings from the losing bets or something like that. They're ultra
No, it's not
affiliated.
just. It's all the betting companies have arrangements in each country. Sportsbet has the same arrangement here. It's. The truth is, if you're going to be on the betting app, then they're going to make money out of you, so they can afford to play
But
Sky or whoever.
I'll tell you what's
it is.
annoying here is it auto plays here and it has volume, and that is quite annoying. We're gonna because whenever I try and make a bet, I get fucking noise, and it comes out over the microphone occasionally. Right, so I'm gonna go under for full of the worth. It's only 21.5, which is a bit skinny.
Well, that's probably more than. There's been 5 games here, 6 games.
Yeah.
5 games here. In those 10 innings, I'd be surprised if more than one has got to 21.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's play some jingles for the openers. We got. He's placed his first ball. No, he hasn't. I've got this all wrong. We got this guy. He's faced his first ball. It's a dot ball.
The cock has a name you can mock, but he's really quite useful at cricket. I have heard that he can open the bat, even if he's not keeping wickets.
And
You wear a shirt, the yellow and green. Oh. Reza Hendricks, you are a run star.
second ball. Ooh, it's smash! Quinton de Kock. You can't bowl there to Quinton de Kock, man, because that's gone over deep mid wicket for the first of these. Second ball. Let's try that again. Jesus, it's all going horribly wrong.
Not for de Kock though. That was he lifted that off his leg.
He did indeed. Yeah, you really cannot bowl there.
In the slot. It's a
Totally
weird
in the
one
slot.
with de Kock though, isn't it? Because he's coming into this match needing a score. He's been slightly underwhelming
Yeah.
so far, as the
Yeah.
top 3 have for South Africa.
He didn't really have a
Yeah.
great IPL, did he? So is
He's
it?
only got over 20 twice in his last 10 innings.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Because he's such a great player.
Is this Tanzin Hassan Saqib bowling? Do we know?
I
shall
think
tell
so.
you.
Because he was under 19.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes,
we'll
it
give
is.
him a jingle after this ball. That one smashed into the leg side. It's going to get the same treatment.
Have a bit more of that.
Have a bit more of that. Good start from South Africa. It's and Tanzin, the jingle we have, he was obviously he was in the Bangladesh under 19 team not that long ago because we must have covered a game.
Synonym for slim and trim. Swim in the gym just on a whim. I do not go out on a limb in this hymn that's for Tanzim.
Seems to be a little bit slower played out into the covers and there ain't no run.
Yeah, it's not a great start here from Tanzim, is it?
No.
He's trying, but these are pitches where you need almost the first 2 overs to try and figure out what the pitch is today. What are the difficulties today? And you haven't really got that time, have you?
No. Yeah, already looking forward to seeing what South Africa are going to bowl like on this.
Yeah, that could
'Cause
be
they were
torture.
pretty
I think
lethal the other day.
Bangladesh is set to
Crumble.
thumped today.
Yeah, I think so. That's just worked into the leg side. No one's closing it down. They're probably going to get back. No, not two. Should have got two there, really.
Yeah, that's almost the arrogance of someone who's heard that conversation a second before. Yeah, we probably are going to walk this today. Let's just take it easy. Let's not pull any hamstrings. But they are. I mean, that South African bowling attack is ferocious.
On a wicket like this, it's
Oh,
ferocious.
my
On a
God.
flat deck, it goes for runs.
Yes, but this is perfect for them, isn't it?
Exactly. This is the perfect wicket for them. It's it's really conducive to pace.
My view is if their batting can get itself together, they are going to win this tournament.
But they've certainly
they've got a
got
real
potential in that if they can get their batting together. Exactly that. But when it appeal for LBW, I think
He
it's
turned
down.
him round.
Oh,
He's giving him.
He's giving him.
Wow.
Really? I thought it was going down. Has he got to review that, hasn't he?
You would have thought so.
Well,
It seemed to come out. No, he's trudging off.
For my betting account, I want it out, but
Well,
he is trudging.
I
off.
have good news for your bookmaker because he is heading towards the pavilion, or rather the little dugout.
That was a golden duck for Reeza Hendricks. Didn't face a pocket. Well, he did face the ball. He was out to it.
Well, it's better than de Kock did last time. He had diamonds.
Oh yeah, he was run out, wasn't he? A fucking heroic run out that was.
He probably said that to him as he was passing him just then. Oh, that's
no,
Plum.
that's Plum actually.
I mean, he's squared him up,
absolutely.
hasn't he?
He squared him up, beating the
Yeah.
outside edge, hit the back pad. It was going on to hit middle and off a good 3 or 4 or 5 inches below the top of the bail. So that was as Plum gets actually. So he was pretty wise not to review that. Oh, that's good for me. One in the pot. I'm going to go for another one.
Well, it's also not so good for Hendricks, whose poor tournament just continues here. But you're right, Messi, because if they can get it together with this batting lineup, you look at it on paper,
Well,
it's ferocious.
They played 2 games, and this is their second one on this. I mean, their batting lineup. If they play on that Kingston wicket, for example,
Will be very different,
Barbados, it'd be very different. You know, the ball's not doing
Yeah.
much, and you imagine the players you just hit through the line, like Klaassen and Reeza Hendricks is a bit of a biffer. You know, if those guys get in on a wicket like that, they'll have a lot of fun. They've got so much power in this batting if they get it together.
I suppose it's
Yeah,
just if
and
it becomes a
that
psychological
bowling-
thing.
Yeah, and this new guy, Otniel Bartman, is looking pretty special.
Oh my
Well,
God, yeah.
again, you know, you wonder what he's going to be like on a flat wicket. Blah blah blah. You know. Anyway, let's have a jingle for the new man.
Cause he's a grinner, a part-time spinner, and this Safa, yes he's a winner. Playing his shots out in the sun. He's a stroker, not mediocre. He's no World Cup choker. He gets us moving with his runs.
We like a bit of Ada Markham jingle. We have a change of bowling. Well, of course, it's second over. Sorry, that was quite a long one. First over. First ball is knocked up to mid off, and it's no run. And it is who is it? Taskin.
If you get to the ground by 9, you can see this fella shine. He starts his run up looking real mean. If he ever gets annoyed, he's got himself a brand new ploy. He loves to get at batsmen all day. And he'll be tasking care of business every game. Tasking care of business every day. He's been tasking care of business.
Yeah, we just had a replay of the LBW. It's hitting middle stump. Well,
Liftage.
you can't bowl there to fucking Quinton.
It really is quite
told you
basic.
that in the last over, but they've done it again. They bowled into his pads on length, and he just picks it up. He could be on. That would be dangerous.
What was the match in the last T20? Was it that got rained off? South Africa, Zimbabwe, was it? Or someone else? And de Kock just went ballistic and every ball was going for 6 or 4.
Oh, was that the one a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
I do vaguely remember that.
It got really dangerous. People were sliding all over the place and injuring themselves. But he was on form that day, my God. So if we could see another of those today, that would be sweet.
It would be. I'll just put to let Annie in. I don't know what that green thing is on this screen up here. What is that? Right. Taskin's coming around the wicket this time to Quinton de Kock, who plays it behind square on your side. It'll run down to third man. There's no run. Full of the next wicket. Runs at full of the second wicket. 38.5. What are you on? So they're only offering me 20.
Wow. I go for it still.
Yeah, I am. I'm with you there, Messi. I fancy a couple of early wickets.
So-
Although Quinton de Kock scares me here. He could put me out of the game.
Yeah, he
very
could
quickly.
do. He could do. Well, if they maybe stay away from his legs a little bit, it might go a bit easier. But yeah, if he gets some fun, this is what we want to see today, don't we? We want to see South Africa almost be inspired by Australia and score beyond the odds,
Yeah, exactly.
and then Bangladesh come back at them, of course.
Well, Aidan Markram, he's facing up, and he gets out the toe end of the bat and goes up towards mid-off, and there's no run. But I guess if de Kock's doing that at one end, you got time to give yourself a few balls.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, with the scores that they've had so far on this pitch and generally in the tournament, if some guy's going full biff of bacon, then you can kind of like just relatively
Exactly. I
knock
mean, if
it
you
away.
get a score of 160 on this pitch, you think
Yeah.
you're fucking in gravy.
Yeah, I
don't
think
you?
no, you're in clover if that happens.
Well, it's 18 for 1 after 10 balls. Mainly thanks to 2 sixes and a 4 by Quinton de Kock. That was left by Mark through the keeper. There's no run.
He's taking you too much at your word there. That was a test match leave, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
That's a round of applause at Lord's on day one.
Warren has joined us. Says good morning. We've got a few now, actually. I'll come to them at the end of the over.
Tornado coming in.
Well, I do like World Cups, I have to say.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
It is good fun. Taskin is in, driven up to mid-off once more. No run.
But it's
the second over, 18 for 1.
It's great, isn't it? This because it is de Kock's buying time for the other batters at the moment.
Exactly. Anyway, let's hear from Messi. What will our public have to say?
Martley is with us. Says, went to the
woof.
garden centre to buy another tin of sweets because I like to use the tins for tea, coffee, sugar and baccy. Yeah, you don't want the sweets, do you? But what Saturday drives all the way to a garden centre just to buy sweets? So I'd buy gargoyle as a cover story. Sent us a picture of the fudge in its tin and the gargoyle. Warren says, did James not get the no green in Gorilla Tires memo?
No.
Even if he is from Kensal Green.
No, I did not, I'm afraid.
Brown Barry says, g'day cricket nerds. As you can tell from my Twitter feed, I spent yesterday among several hundred Indian fans and it was hard not to catch their enthusiasm and joy. I do feel a bit dirty cheering for them, but it helps the US and it was good time nonetheless.
How did the US, did the media cover it at all in New? I mean, I doubt they did it countrywide because it's such a big place. But did the New York sort of news and the local area sort of cover it? Oh, flashed that by Quinton de Kock. That seemed like a quicker delivery. It was only 85.7, but seemed a bit late on that one. Went through to the keeper, no run.
That feels like a Sunday supplement kind of coverage thing, I would think, the cricket. Maybe Brian can disprove us on that.
Well, the fact that the US has a real chance of getting to the next round might be the sort of thing
that changes.
they-
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially at a bloody World Cup. Who's keeping, by the way, for the
for
Bangladesh?
Bangladesh.
Oh, it's begins with J, doesn't it? What's it?
Is that Jacket Ali? That's through to the keeper and there's no. Well, we don't have a jingle for Jacket Ali.
I'm sure
The
he won't hold
keeper?
it against him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the keeper is Lytton Das.
Oh, it's that. So of course, yeah.
I was expecting to see the wee man there, but finally, no.
Ian H sent us a great picture. He says he's locked in. He's got this laptop showing the match.
That's
wait.
a horrible wide.
I don't know how he
Short,
did that.
wide, wide on both fronts, I'd have thought. But fortunately, he only gives one away. We'll give it one little jingle there.
That was like he hadn't been told they were on a different strip today.
Yeah. He's got his TV screen is on the game. His laptop is open at the Gorilla Cricket YouTube site, and he has his Airfix model of. Is that a Spitfire that he's making? Yes, it's a Spitfire that he's making.
Bowled him though! Bowled him! Has bowled him. He's got 2 for 12 with a horrible wide, followed by one that's gone straight on. Had a little bit of pace on it, and maybe it didn't get up. And Quinton de Kock's gone to go pull it. Probably wasn't short enough for the pull. It's gone under the bat, and the bails have flown up behind him. We didn't see it where it hit the stumps, but we saw the bails going up in the air with their lights on. And suddenly South Africa find themselves. I said don't fucking bat first on this, but hey-oh, they are another wicket down.
That was nearly as bad as Brisbane.
It was. It didn't get up though, did it? It didn't get up as
Well,
much as it
no,
thought
it
would
didn't.
do.
In all exactly, it was a little bit fuller than he thought it was. Really, I think he was playing for something that was a little bit shorter, that was a bit higher on him.
But this is your theory of not batting first. Is that the other team's got the chance now to look at this and say, okay, maybe they don't get up so much. But De Kock's failed again, really, considering his talent.
Well, he went quick, but he went for not many balls.
Yeah, 18's not enough, really. I mean, I think
That's-
Cameo is 40 plus, shall we say?
Oh, I think
well, that's what Rizwan did yesterday.
Yeah.
There was almost a mirror image of Rizwan's shot, in my view. Although
it
Rizwan's
was.
ball was probably a bit faster from Dresden.
Yeah, well, that was a shame. He was. I was hoping he'd take them through. Tristan Stubbs, where we got a jingle for him? I know we have, but there he is.
Stubbs
The bear's gonna be happy.
Tristan Parade. He offers more for what he's paid. He can bat, bowl, and even keep. It's time that Stubbs he made the lead.
Well, he offers a full face of the bat to that with a defensive shot, and there's no run. What's in the full of the next wicket? It's 37.5. What are they on?
Oh, that's a gimme.
The way this is going, you got to.
They're on 19, I think.
Yeah. Well, still, it's only 18 runs, isn't it?
I tell you what, that was a
Mike.
good delivery, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Mike's
it
having
did
a
squat a
great
bit.
week. He's there again. He says, "Good morning. What a day yesterday. I lost my voice in the last 6 overs trying to G up the Indians, as if they could hear me. Now in the cheap seats up top today. Great weather. Come on, Saffers."
Well, they got themselves in a bit of trouble. That one's played square, out behind square on the offside by Stubbs, and there's no run. 19 for 2. We haven't even got to the end of the third over yet.
Yeah, everything's happening at once. Stubbs has the look, I think, of a disaffected goth teenager. The kind of pale of skin and shock-headed of hair. But maybe
Do you
he can
have
take
one of those in your family?
And I tell you, I wish we did. I'd be interested in us recruiting one. We can pay good rates. Maybe Stubbs can come over. Let's see what he can do with this ball.
Tandem is in. It's worked into the leg side. Can't beat the man at square leg, and there's no run. Might have to go for a run out at some point today as well if I get enough in the bank.
Yeah, I think that. I know, but I think that's possible in this sort of stuff. If the scores are low, run-outs are always more possible.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Farong says, "Greetings all. I hope everyone's well. Big clash. Saffers, who have never lost against Bangladesh in T20 cricket.
True.
Will the worm turn this match? Tigers back in New York to collect souvenirs and shopping for family and friends." Well, I hope for your sake, Farong, that Bangladesh do well today, because you've gone through a lot of suffering. I know. Although he's saying, come on, Saffers. Mike says it's in the media, but really just like a small article explaining in American terms what India versus Pakistan means. Plus, they're trying to explain how USA can end up playing in the Super 8s. Well, of course you would. Any local paper would be looking at their own
I'd imagine the
country's
Americans would get the Super 8s. It's kind of round robin-y type thing that they have in basketball and all that kind of shit anyway. Taskin in. Oh, beats the outside edge of Markram's bat and there's no run.
I think the cliche is they've got their tails up now, haven't they?
Yeah.
They really have. That was close.
Got a great message for you from Warren too. He says, "Bear, expect a doorbell ring in about 15 to 20 minutes."
No, sweet.
There you go.
Lovely. Always like freebies. Sent to the studio. It's always a pleasure.
You might be sending some people around to duff us up, though.
Well,
You never know. Let's make sure the next
Not
few minutes
Warren.
is good. Yeah, no, of course
Warren
not.
is a true gentleman.
Taskin up to the crease. Bowls. That's better.
Yeah,
Markham gets on top of the bounce on that one. Drives it out through the covers. The outfield seems to quicken up
Yeah,
a
less
fraction.
spongy, yeah.
And it's made its way to the boundary, and it's going to be 4 runs.
Yeah, it does seem to have quickened up a little bit. I mean, this has been the special cocktail from this ground, hasn't it? A pitch
Yeah.
that's difficult to get it off, and then an outfield
Outfield
that's
that's
slow
really
as hell.
slow.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely been curated by
A
by a
bowler.
bowler. Yeah, 100%, not a batsman.
Well, I think it makes for interesting cricket, put it that way. into the pads. Taskin worked out towards mid wicket with no bat on it, and there'll be no run.
There is a brilliant entitlement, isn't there, from these batsmen who don't like this. It's rather like Superman when he lost his powers in Superman 2. It's just, it's not as it should be.
No, but it is. It's
How dare
fun.
you take it away from me?
Yeah, they need to go back to the Fortress of Solitude and reclaim their power. Maybe that's the West Indies.
No, maybe that's just going back to India to flat decks, and
The IPL.
40-yard boundaries.
Bring back the IPL.
How the cultural references have changed.
Well, Markram's facing up. 23 for 2, South Africa to 3.3. Taskin is in. That's defended by Markram. That's the offside. There's no run.
Yeah, it's funny. This is after those first 2 overs. It's now sort of stabilised a little bit more.
Yeah, but the scoring stopped.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Brown-
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Brown says the coverage has been more of a blurb from different outlets, but with the general reaction of, we have a cricket team? Though I did hear our own Jack Hope talk about it on the NPR morning show last week and felt like a mindless celebrity.
Telling them what it was all about, I presume. Because they didn't have a clue.
And Mike says it was worth the $2,500 to go yesterday.
Oh, bowled him! Taskin has bowled Markram. I don't think the ball did that much. Markram's complaining a lot. I got a 3 in a row. Markram has gone, beaten the outside edge, clattered into his stumps. They've been splayed once again. And, well, you know what? I'm going to give one of these for that.
Fuck off! Just fuck off!
So I'm sorry, I've been ignoring our people on YouTube while I've been concentrating on Twitter. Leo's with us. Says, hello, hello, missus. Please don't harm me, incorporeal apparition that haunts Gorilla Towers. That was when you had your card in. Said hello to Muttley. Ian H is with us this afternoon. Stephen Kelk says, well, hello there, fancy meeting you all. If James indulges me with one of his wonderful elaborate metaphors, I will respond with a super chat. There you go.
Oh, okay, sure. Let me think on that.
Kieran Roseblade says, afternoon all. Bad does love the biffers.
I do. Can't deny it.
There's, if you can see the YouTube channels, there's some suggestions of metaphors.
Oh, thank you.
Afternoon gentleman says, rough turn 49. Michael Bedford says low scoring because of a wonky wicket isn't going to endear Americans to cricket. I don't know.
If that matters that much. Surely,
the question is, does the tension substitute for all the
and that's
millions
what
of useless sixes?
precisely, and that's what sport is about, isn't it? It's the tension, the possibilities.
But also about success. I mean, in the way that Britain became a rowing nation just because they won lots of Olympic medals at rowing, or suddenly was very into cycling because of the same. And I think if we ever did international knitting and did well in it, we'd probably follow that too. Have America's got that mindset?
Well, Taskin's in, first ball to on Heinrich Klaassen, who just defends into the offside. There's no wrong. We'll give him a jingle. Sounds like this.
You think he's going to replace the cardinal forms of the game? And baby, you're insane. What's this guy's name? Heinrich Klaassen.
That was just an awful shot by Markram.
Yeah, it was shit.
I mean, it did go a little bit off the seam, enough actually to beat the outside edge, but
He was trying to play, I know he's a correct batsman anyway, but he's trying to play in a very classical style so far, wasn't he? And I think that sort of caught him out a little bit. I mean, he needs to go a little looser maybe.
yeah.
But this is plus ça change and all that, to quote Tellboy. This is just what's happened in every South Africa match so far. The front three have failed.
No, 12 for 4, weren't they, in the last game?
Yeah.
Does put everyone in the middle order under pressure. Stubbs plays that square on the offside. There's no run.
It does, but I guess it goes back to that low-scoring pitch thing again. Is that if the scores are low enough, you can lose 3 like that as long as someone else comes in and gets a 30 and a 40.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Clearly, if you get 120,
Roseblade
130, but
Yeah.
go on.
suggests the US media response is that New York City grinds to a halt as no Ubers or cabs left inside the city.
I can imagine that being something that might actually make them prick up and watch. Predictor is 145. Don't know about that. Taskin in. Ooh, played up now. My word! And Stubbs has gone. He's played that off the back foot. I don't know. Did I get my bet in? I think I did. That one is played out into the offside. And he just played a little bit early, and it was uppish. There's some sheepish-looking South Africans in the crowd, and it's been caught by a diving man at cover. I didn't see who it was.
No, neither did I. But it was astonishing, wasn't it? Because he didn't play it with any conviction at all. It was.
He played it on the up, didn't he?
Yeah,
very aerial.
Yeah. They're just not allowing for the slowness of this pitch.
No, they're not. It's very odd.
Three dismissals.
Shaki, was it
Shaki?
Yesterday, just that way.
He's off to find himself a dark corner to listen to some Joy Division and to cut his arms.
Kieran also says it also seems like Mayank is bankrolling this whole tournament.
It does sound like that.
Does a little.
There's a figure that boggled my mind yesterday. This stadium's cost 30 million to build. It is estimated that the gate receipts yesterday alone were 24 million.
Wow, that's a good. You know what? It's a fucking good model for sport, though, isn't it? I mean, you think about it.
It is.
You can put a stadium anywhere, like a cricket stadium. You can put anywhere. I think. You need a year's prep, but you're not going to have a fucking white elephant left at the end of that. You know, it costs you 30 million plus a bit of land for a year.
Yeah,
You think how much it costs to build a modern stadium?
In how many sports you're going to find people paying 10 grand?
No, you're not. But in terms of having a tournament or something of this nature.
Yeah, well, this is a classic thing with any World Cup, isn't it? I mean, particularly like you think football World Cups, when they take them somewhere vaguely new, they just end up with loads of empty stadia.
Yeah, well, exactly.
But it does already happen. I mean, these stands are from Las Vegas,
that's
from
right,
Grand Prix, and Miami from their Grand Prix.
Yeah, but
obviously,
yeah, exactly. I suppose they're kind of used to it. Yeah. Well, Tanzam is in. The new batsman is the man that is he going to do it today? I'm watching today. He's probably going to fuck it up, isn't he? He's got a jingle like this. It's a quite good jingle as well. I like this one.
Up next is a real life wife, David Miller. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Ça fait fa. He will bat left, go right, and score runs all day. Oh, David Miller. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
On his first ball, he just knocks around a corner down to long leg, and it'll be a single.
That reminds me, can I just quickly jump in after that jingle? If anyone has not seen the re-release of Stop Making Sense, may I recommend it thoroughly. It's been restored back out in cinemas and is well worth the watch. I went to see it the other week with my son.
What's that?
It's a Talking Heads live in concert, filmed 84 maybe or something like that.
Okay.
But it's an amazing, I'm not into Talking Heads, but it's an amazing concert film, like properly performed, proper joy coming through the band. If you've got any interest in stuff like that, go for it.
Tanzam's in again. Clarkson looked like he was he was a little bit disturbed by that, but managed to get his bat down on it. It's only 84 miles an hour. It's quick enough. And
Stephen Kelk is trying to inspire you, James.
Oh, go for it, Stephen.
James's metaphors have dried up like a particularly dry well in the Sahara Desert during a heat wave after 100 years of climate change.
Okay, well listen, when I take over ball by ball, I'm going to throw a gazillion metaphors in your direction, Stephen.
Well, you're on in a bull's time, I think. In fact, that's defended out to the offside, out to cover. It's the end of the over. 5 are done. 24 for 4. They were 12 for 4 the other day. They're 24 for 4. They doubled their score for 4
there
wickets
we go.
This time.
Result.
Positive thinking.
Progress.
And yeah, I'm going to hand over. Annie is going to join us. Is it you two?
It's me and Tawheed and Annie.
And yeah, Tawheed and Annie. Hello, Tawheed. How are you, mate?
I'm alright.
Good.
Good to start this.
I'm not sure you're coming through your headset. You sound like you're coming off your computer, and you're all a bit bitty. But I'm going to let James sort that out.
No.
You're going to have to come and sit here and offer.
I don't know how to operate that. You might have to haven't taught me that. I'm afraid.
It's really easy. I had to do it.
It's very simple.
Oh God, it's so
you have all these lists on the inside, on this side, and then you just single click on one of those.
Maybe you show me the break or something.
No, you're going to hang of it. It's whole part of the show.
Okay, right. Okay, this
next treat is from Farong, Annie.
Okay.
Maybe do it a tweet. I will transfer microphones. We've got. Can you just play the jingle for the Fizz after this delivery as he comes in and it's pushed out onto the offside?
say something?
Yes, say something please while I turn over.
Are you playing a jingle or not?
We are playing a jingle. We're playing Fizz's jingle. It's coming to the end shortly. Yes, we've finished the jingle, so you may speak as I transfer seats.
Good. Well, I was just hopefully you can hear me a bit.
Yes, you're much better now.
Great. Yeah, no, fantastic start for Bangladesh. I mean, there was all this talk of a thumping after about 4 balls on comms, so...
Yeah, I don't know who was saying that. Surely...
Well, I think the first over was rather impressive, wasn't it?
It
By
was,
South
yeah.
Africa, yeah.
It was De Kock as you would hope to see De Kock, the cavalier cricketer.
You must have a metaphor about De Kock.
Well, there are a few that I can think of, but perhaps I shouldn't be saying. But we could say that De Kock had a slight vasectomy too soon into his innings as the Fizz comes in and Miller attempts to play this forward of square on the leg side and it goes backward of square instead. Yeah, but there's a great start this from Bangladesh though, isn't it? And also a disappointing and slightly predictable start from that front three for South Africa.
Yeah, 3 bowls straight away.
Fantastic.
Oh, Toy, I think you're still breaking up a little bit.
He is still breaking up.
Yeah,
a
you're
little bit,
breaking
isn't
up
he?
a tiny bit. I think time will tell. It's you're slightly glitching on the screen. I feel like I'm at Camberwell School of Art seeing an end of term installation as the Fizz prepares himself, strides up to the wicket purposefully. Klassen facing, just dabs that down into the offside. There's no run that time. Tawhid, shall we give you a go again? Let's see if you've improved your volumes.
Yeah, sorry, my
That's all right.
internet issues. But yeah, I was going to say, fantastic start for Bangladesh. I mean, 3 wickets from the young pacer there, Tanzib. That was quite unexpected. That ball that got to Kock, absolute peach. And you know, we haven't even seen the spinners come on yet. So and the Fizz is only in his first over. So good.
What are we thinking about the pitch then?
Well, Toy, I've said enough about the pitch so far. I think. What are you guys feeling about the pitch? We kind of like it here.
You like it?
Yeah,
you like it? Yeah.
Just because it makes it difficult.
Nothing wrong with a low-scoring thriller. We saw one yesterday, and we could see the same again.
And we just
I don't mind a low-scoring thriller. I do worry about a dangerous pitch. Though.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as dangerous today though. Just missed the Fizz coming in another dot ball for him then. But don't you think it's less dangerous today? There's a little bit of inconsistency and bounce. But maybe we need to wait until South Africa get on a bowl.
I was going to say so far it hasn't been too bad, but I mean you don't often get 3 bowled straight away. So I'm interested by that as well. Yeah,
but I think it's certainly, we were saying before that it's certainly made for great finishes.
Down to good bowling.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we are. Well, there's more good bowling here. That's right on the money, and you can tell it's right on the money because Klassen does one of those things that batsmen do, where they shape their hands like a shell and turn it round as though to say, "God, yeah, that moved a lot." Of course, it didn't at all. And the over has ended. It is now 25 for 4.
James, you have managed to get a super chat. Stephen Pelt says, "For the love of James's metaphors."
Can I just interrupt you to say, message from Bear to Warren, can you send us a code for the guy at the door? This is important stuff. Sorry, Annie.
What's he delivering?
Well, we don't know if it's
Oh, how exciting.
It's pizza. We wondered if it would be that or 2 guys with knuckle dusters, but it turns out it's pizza.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to go through a few more YouTube. So Chris Acquire says, can you double play jingles? We've all done it, James. Apparently, that's what you're going to do, double play. I've certainly done double play.
Oh my God, yes. Now I'm faced with my first. So who's coming on to bowl here?
Rishad.
Rishad, okay. I'm looking for Rishad here. Can we pretend there's a jingle playing? Because I can't actually find it.
Perhaps you could try a different Hussein.
Richard comes in there and patted out by Miller. I can hear Bear has got 83. So we might go without a jingle for that one. Just imagine I sang. as Rishad comes in again, and Miller opens up this time into the leg side, sort of bisects the fielder. There's an attempt to field it, but it still dribbles to the line for, let's hope this works, a 4.
He nearly dissected the fielder, in fact.
He did. Well, he did. He almost rearranged his fingers, didn't he? Like the aforementioned gangsters coming round with their knuckle dusters to our front door. He would never play the piano again. Yeah, it was a pretty lame attempt at fielding there. He did get to it and then managed to just sort of flop it onto the boundary Toblerone. As Rishad comes in again, this time there is no action from Miller. He plays it more respectively. What do we think a decent score is going to be here? Can we figure this out yet?
130?
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it? Do you think Bangladesh would be happy chasing that?
Yep.
I think Bangladesh, I mean, we saw Pakistan do a pretty abysmal job of chasing down, what was it?
Yeah, they did.
119, I think. Yeah, anything in that region will be a tough ask.
Rishad
I
came
think
in.
it would be a tough ask, but I think they'd be happy considering the first over.
Yeah, I think they will. But Rishad just came in there, and there was a single taken from Miller. But yes, it's a funny one this innings, isn't it? It started out all guns blazing, but it's like they used all their ammo up in the first couple of overs, and now it just feels like a bit of a stretch to keep going. But it's 30 for 4. Bangladesh doing a fine job here to come back from that initial decock mauling, which is probably a sign for the pawn bot to come into play.
Well, also a bit of a metaphor again, you know.
There you go. I've got to keep it. Now there's quite a bit of turn there from Rishad when he bowled there. It was bowled too far down the track.
He's one of the most exciting Bangladesh players, I would say. Probably the most exciting out of this 11. He's a rarity in Bangladesh cricket, a leg spinner, and he can give the ball a good whack as well when he comes into bat.
Well, he's done very well for in that over, leaving South Africa 31 for 4 after 7 overs.
3 wickets against Sri Lanka the other day.
Yeah, he's very exciting. He's only 21, isn't he?
Yes, what's happening on Twitter?
Ian Forth, I'm still on YouTube at the moment, says he's seen Stop Making Sense 3 times, James. First
yes, I'm sure he has.
And now Talking Heads. It's post-punk a-go-go on Guerrilla Cricket. Keep up the metaphorical work. And let's go for Twitter. Ferron says, left field, most visited websites, India, May 24. Google.com, YouTube.com, Facebook.com, ex-hamster Desi, Instagram.com, adchat.com. I think there's more, but I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Is ex-hamster dead and wolves dead pets, or is that something of the, shall we say, the blue variety? Probably, if you know it's the second, don't tweet in.
I've got the other ones.
Fizz is back in there. It's pushed back down the ground by Clarkson, but to no avail. Annie, sorry, continue.
It's alright, syndicate.com, cryptbuzz.com, whatsapp.com, ssyoutube.com, xhamster42 Desi. I don't know.
What's ex-hamster 42? Like there's 42 deceased hamsters pinned on a wall? It's a serial killer's favourite. Do let us know, although like I say, don't let us know if it's what the other thing that we thought it might be. But Bangladesh in a great position here with Fizz, one of their top bowlers being on when 4 wickets are already down.
Yeah, and the spin has ended as well, isn't it?
And he pushes it across Clarkson. Clarkson attempts to whack the hide off that and completely misses it. Although to Fizz it just looks as though it's just another delivery. Are we expecting great things from Fizz this tournament, or are we expecting him to have to do great things for Bangladesh to progress?
I'm just seeing if we've lost.
Tawhid looks as though he's frozen at the moment.
Yeah, I would expect.
He's back.
No.
Fizz comes in again. That's actually Yorker length, and Klaassen manages not just to keep that out, but to hit it straight down the ground for a 4.
Pass.
You're coming in and going. We
Yes.
can't really hear you, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's a bit like a Frank Sinatra retirement. It's not sticking. It's now stuck forever, hasn't it? There we go. There's the metaphor back for you, everyone. Blue eyes coming back into town as Klaassen bobs up and down as he's on a boat in the dock. And Fizz comes in again, number 90. This time pitched halfway down the wicket. Doesn't get up a lot. Again, Klaassen is twisting his wrist as though he's practicing the flamenco.
I'll just answer a little bit. I'd love to think that Bangladesh could get through.
Yeah, please, agree.
But if they continue to do as they're doing and win another game, then that's a real possibility. And yeah, Fizz would be hugely instrumental in that, I should say.
Yeah, he's a fine bowler, isn't he? Yeah, I agree with you. I'd really like to see Bangladesh get through and do well. As the aforementioned Fizz comes in, it's wide on the offside, slashed at by Klaassen. Fielded by deep third there, throws it in just a single there. I think so far what's been one of the things I've enjoyed a lot about this World Cup that we haven't mentioned today is it feels like it's been the World Cup of the underdog.
Yeah, totally. And surprises and
yes.
Also a lot of teams, and that's been really nice to have so many teams involved.
Yes, I agree completely. And I think what's going to be important is because often in something like the Football World Cup you'll get an odd shock, but when it comes down to the business end it's the same old teams. It would be great in that Super 8s that it is different teams as well as some of the established ones.
Absolutely, and Bangladesh deserve it in lots of ways.
Agree. Fizz comes into Miller this time, the birthday boy I think, who manages to wrap it round.
He must be ancient now.
He is, I think he's 333. Triple Nelson there.
36, I think.
36. There's no age at all. I can say this now. Anyway, it is the end of the over. What is happening in the Twitterverse?
Oh, too much. I can't keep up with it, to tell you the truth. Pokey Bumfinger says, Annie on YouTube, unprecedented turn of events. Yes, I know I'm rubbish at YouTube, but I'm really trying my best, okay? Ian Force says Duran Duran, a sci-fi name too, of course. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we got Ian talking about music. What did you do that for?
I've opened the door.
You really have. Milo O'Shea in Barbarella, but hardly post-punk. Right, that's all I'm doing on YouTube right now.
Right. Well, we've got to change it in bowling here, and I think I have found the jingle.
There's an all-rounder all around the cricket world. All around the world you can watch the skills of Shakib Al-Hassan.
From one old man to another then, really.
there we go. And there is Shakib bowling straight away. It's forced out onto the offside Miller. He'll just pouch a single there. Shakib maybe could do with a performance.
Definitely, yeah. I was just about to say he had a pretty quiet game against Sri Lanka the other day, and I don't know. I mean, whisper it. I'd say he's probably past his best. I don't think the format kind of really suits him, but he's always probably going to have a place for as long as he wants to play.
But he spears this one in more onto the leg stump, and it's forced out for a single there. There's lots of looks from the batsmen. They look like ferrets caught in headlights. There's lots of blowing of cheeks out here at the moment. This is hard going for them.
Well, these are the two batsmen that really want to hit big, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it feels like they're not quite... We were talking about entitlement before. This very much feels like the entitled gods are unwilling to accept what the mortals...
Yeah, they're not happy that they can't get this away really easily.
Yeah, Shakib in again at that healthy pace of his, and he's tucked away by Miller onto the leg side just for a single again. They're sort of ticking over here. This feels like the rebuilding phase of a 50-over match.
It also feels a bit like the end of the Pakistan innings where they didn't get it away at all.
Yes.
And they were getting more and more frustrated.
It does. But do we think maybe they just have to accept this for a couple of overs, get their eye in a little bit more, and then go?
Sorry, I was reading.
He played a similar innings, didn't he, Miller, against the Netherlands, where
yes, he did.
South Africa are in all sorts of trouble.
Well, he's got another single there, class, and just being cramped for room by Shakib, who seems to have immediately found the right line and length and speed for this pitch. South Africa are currently 41 for 4 with just one delivery, if it's a legitimate one, left in this over.
Good time for Shakib to just kind of bowl a couple of quiet overs in the middle period.
Yes, shorter this time. Miller can force it out onto the offside. I imagine it's just going to be a single. Or have they trotted through for 2? We're about to find out. Yes, they've trotted through for 2. So it's the end of the over. 9 overs have gone. South Africa currently limping towards 43 for 4. Annie, what is happening in the Meta, Twitter, YouTubers?
Okay. On YouTube, Chris Squire says, some of those metaphors sound like similes. In fact, they are similes. Is that a paradox?
I mean, that's
This is
quite true.
Too much. And Besserich Kurtzbean says, please plug the ever-loving F out of the India v Canada commentary on Saturday, Annie. Okay? You got to listen to it.
Plugged away.
You have to. And Ian Falls says, do ferrets get caught in headlights as well as rabbits?
They do, unfortunately. It's a really terrible state of affairs in the English countryside.
I've not seen one, I have to say.
No, I'm joking. But he just looks more like a ferret than a rabbit. That's why 40. But there's a change of bowling again. I think who's coming on here? No, Mamadullah was going to come on, but he's not going to come on now. So bear with me while I scratch around.
To continue.
Yeah, Rishad still continuing, but it did look like Mamadullah was coming. But a change of mind there. There's lots of signalling around. Rishad with his immensely fluffy beard, not very well kempt at the moment, but I tell you what is quite well kempt is his bowling. No run off that first delivery to Klassen, who again is gesturing.
Yeah, I was saying before how he is a real rarity for Bangladesh cricket, Rishad. And you look at his stature, he actually looks like a fast bowler.
That's an absolute beauty. Swerve, dip, breaks away. Klassen not at the races at all.
No, not what he wanted at all, that ball.
No, absolute belter. Number 22, Rishad, comes in again. This time it goes sky high. Manhattan skyscraper high by Klassen for a 6. Bear with me, all people who love jingles.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
Not bad, that one.
No, that's a good one. Why do you say he looks like a fast bowler?
Just his stature, he's like 6 foot plus, which is again a rarity for Bangladesh cricket. You see him towering over his teammates.
Look, just in the size of him, I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's built like the proverbial. He certainly is. But that 6 apart, which was a big 6, 91 metres, he seems to have a guile and accuracy, which he not necessarily the second one.
He's a young leg spinner. You're always going.
Little short this time. Little short, too short. Hoiked over cow by Klassen, who is beginning to find his range and has hit one of these. This is having control of this. I feel like I'm playing God. Now you remember,
it does feel a bit like that.
It is. You know that famous Long Island resident, Alec Baldwin. As he comes in again, and Rishad plays it out onto the offside for a single. Don't know if you remember the film he was in, Malice, where he plays a surgeon, and someone says to him, "Do you feel like God when you operate?" And he said, "When I operate, I have someone's life in my hands. Do I feel like God? I am God."
Yeah.
Much maligned, terrible film. Put it on your guilty pleasures list. Tremendously hammy performance by him. But this is great. This is what we were talking about. Klassen bided his time a little bit, as has Miller. And Miller is to face the final ball in the over. He rocks back and cuts it out, and they scamper through for a single that sees the birthday boy lying flat on his belly, as he might do later tonight after the celebrations. 10 overs have gone. I think we are due a change, and South Africa certainly are. Change of luck. They're 57 for 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm staying on. I can't remember. Am I going off, Nessie?
Yeah, you're up for 5 overs. That 5 overs seem to go very fast.
I tell you what, I'm way behind everything. But I think for
That's
on
all right.
again. We're on.
Okay, we got a drinks break, so I might have a chance to catch up a
excellent.
bit.
You can catch up.
So, Farong, is that the same one I left you with? Good so far from the Tigers. Bowling has generally been reasonable for the past few years. Batting is the concern, yes, indeed.
That's
100 might be enough for the Saffers. Sorry, Annie Chave. Yeah, that's true. I think 100 is probably quite good. Bear in mind, too, that South Africa are actually doing a lot better here than they did against the Netherlands.
Yes.
After 10 overs against the Netherlands, they were 32 for 4. And here they are, what are we on at the moment? 57 for 4.
57 for 4, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Now, I think we're waiting for Richard, aren't we? I don't know if he's...
Yeah, is he in the waiting room?
Doesn't seem to be.
Oh, well, I'll keep going through the tweets because we're on a drinks break. Brian Barish has sent us a copy of the New York Times headline. India-Pakistan Cricket World Cup match brings 34,000 fans to Long Island, and then security was tight, but the move was jubilant in the temporary stadium in Nassau County, where India won 119 to 113 in a highly anticipated showdown. I love the fact that they've turned it into a basketball score, made them win by 6 points. But, you know, Americans might relate more.
I'll be Richard for a while.
Yeah, Mike said after Scotland won last night, it looks like England are out. The net run rate difference is huge. It is huge, but it's only based on one game for England. 2 big wins will change that massively.
Yeah, exactly.
And a loss by Scotland will bring their net run rate down by a lot. So I actually think England is still very much favourites to qualify from that group.
Well, I mean, Oman got battered by them, but I mean, you've got to think if Scotland can do that, England's batting can do that.
Yeah, you would hope so.
Oman, you know, so
Yeah.
and probably better.
Yep, I agree.
And if they exactly that, and then if they beat, then it will come down to probably do Scotland lose as badly as England did to Australia?
Yes, yeah, it will.
Yeah.
And will Australia get another 200 against Scotland? That's the thing. I mean, they fucking went like a train. Or will they, on purpose, get a really average score?
Well, that's the discussion.
They didn't do particularly fast against Oman. It was only when Steiners put his foot down that they actually got a reasonable score there. So it depends what Australia turns up, to be honest. Mike says, I would love nothing more than Scotland going through. Same for USA. Then both going to the final, virtue of almost all Super 8 games being washed out. Yeah, apparently the seeding system is really weird. And if Scotland... hold on. If Australia finish first, they will not be the top seed from their group.
No, they retain the seeding from the group stage.
That's right, yeah.
I think that's more to do with the way that they've done the semi-final, where they expected people to turn up, and the TV timings in the countries where they expect people to be would be my bet. Because England basically, nearly all their games bar 1 are at 3:30. Australia's all bar 1 are at a reasonable time for Australians. Indians always seem to be at fucking 3:30 in the afternoon, so they can get a decent time in Australia. Oh, he's been put down. David Miller has been put down. Mamadullah has come in.
First delivery.
Just edged it, first delivery, and he has just been put down by... who was it behind the stumps?
Das. Yeah.
Litton Das.
Miller complaining again about the pitch. Oh.
Let's have a look. Did it grip? It didn't really grip. It should have.
Oh, it
went
on
into
his thigh. He didn't even get his hand on it.
Didn't
Oh my
even
god.
get his hand on it. I'm going to line up Mamadou.
That's actually a really difficult chance for a keeper because it went a long way off the bat and he was standing right up.
Well,
so to get his hands to it would have been a miracle.
Next ball is driven up to mid-off and there's no run. I've gone for a run out for the next... Actually, I didn't want that to happen because I've gone for a run out for the next dismissal.
Mamadou, here I go again. My, yet another 100.
And I went under 123 and a half, followed by 2 Klassen 6s. So that was a bit annoying.
That is a bit annoying.
Literally, I said, I know, I got after the first one hit for 6, it went to 123 and a half. I was just trying to get in on under 118 and a half. Then it went up to 123, and I bet after that it went up to about 130 or 129 or something. That's just worked into the leg side. And coming back for 2.
So
And,
pulled that down, didn't he, halfway down the
Yeah.
pitch? So
And there's no one at mid wicket as per normal, and they'll get 3 for 2. His beard's looking a bit grey.
yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? All loyal gorillas have to barrack for Bangladesh now because Hadi the Mad Old Baddie Atkinson has said if Bangladesh win this one, I'll send a super chat.
There's an appeal for OBW for Mamadullah, but it's going down leg as far as I can see. Maybe even hit him outside the line, and there is no run. Can't give Klassen or Miller any room.
No, but Klassen, something's in his head at the moment. There's a lot of complaints going on after every delivery, isn't there? He's bugging himself, I think, that he hasn't quite got it right.
Oh, that was tossed up and driven by Klassen. It'll be out to the man in the deep, and they'll get themselves a single.
I think it's like, you know that thing about if you get a bunch of kids who have always done well at school and then a bunch of kids who try hard but aren't that smart, and you give them the same test and then you explain to them where it went wrong, and then you give them a harder test. The ones who are really smart just collapse, and the ones who try hard kind of like get there.
Indeed. Richard has turned up. That one is defended into the offside, and there's no run. Right, you're going to have to come back, sit here, take over your duties
I'll move
again.
over. Yeah.
Hello, Richard. How are you, mate?
Hey, Richard.
Can we hear you? You're on mute.
Hi, I thought I'm not on for another 5 overs.
No, you're on this 5 overs. You're doing ball by ball right now.
James is trying to get away. He's supposed to be on, and you're supposed to be off, Bear.
I know.
Yeah, tell him.
Well, then I shall postpone my visit to the bathroom.
Good.
So we want to hear? Okay, so everyone can hear me, and I should describe what's happening. Is that right?
Yes, you should. Fourth, it says Jay-Z was also a resident of Long Island, James.
Yes, he was, yeah.
Yeah, and he says, are you in an Empire state of mind?
I see what you've done there, 40. I see that you did. As we're over to Richard.
Yes, indeed. At 61 for 4 after 11 overs, it's Tuscan to go ahead with the 12th. That's on a nice length outside off stump, just jagging in, and not much Klassen can do with that.
Who else have we got from Long Island? I think Mariah Carey is a Long Islander. If anyone knows any more famous Long Island, specifically actually from Nassau, maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe that's making it too difficult. Someone can find that out, surely.
Which ones have we mentioned already so far?
We've had Alec Baldwin, Jay-Z and Mariah Carey. I mean, we haven't had that many. We've just gone for the biggest names we could find.
Okay, one of them I've not even heard of. Here's Tuscan again. 2, Klassen. That is probably hitting the stumps again, and he just wedges it out on the onside and trots through for 1.
Which one haven't you heard of?
The one that wasn't Jay-Z or Mariah Carey.
Alec Baldwin. You've heard of Alec Baldwin.
Famous for what?
Okay, horribly, probably now most famous for accidentally shooting someone on a film set. Do you remember that? It was in the papers about a year ago.
Do you get famous for that in America these days?
Well, I think you get famous for it if you're a famous-ish actor, although obviously he's not so famous.
Only if you do it by mistake.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, maybe you get more famous if you do it deliberately. But... I'll break off.
I think the long and the short is I'm hopeless with movies. Prefer sport. There's a beauty of a ball outside off stump by Tuscan. Miller plays and misses. So the score will remain on 62 for 4.
The struggle
Billy
continues.
Joel.
Billy Joel, of course. Billy Joel.
Well, I knew he sang about Long Island. I did know that. Didn't know he was actually from there.
There we go. The piano man.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld's Long Island.
Yeah.
That's so funny because he's so associated with Manhattan. Here we go. There's loads of people. This is great.
Soledad O'Brien, who I've never heard of.
Oh, yeah, great.
Rosie O'Donnell. Ralph hold on.
Tuscan continues another fine over. This one's a little bit shorter, and Miller's able to drop it behind square on the offside. It's going to be another single, just a little bit quiet over in Nassau County. So anyone else on the list?
Yes, Ralph Macchio, who I don't know, but
Karate Kid. Yeah.
Yep. Lindsay Lohan.
Wow. Back down to the bottom of the barrel.
Debbie Gibson.
Wow.
Joan Jett.
Oh, wow.
LL Cool J.
Ah, yes.
And Stephen Matz, Billy Crystal, Laura Curran. There you go. That's your lot.
We got a few.
Isn't the Great Gatsby set on Long Island?
I think it is, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but I guess Fitzgerald wasn't from there. But I want to put his top characters from the book into the mix.
There
as
we
well.
go. Yeah.
They deserve a place.
Jimmy
We're really
Gatt.
struggling.
No, you've elevated the conversation.
I'm so sorry. Here's Taskin running up and continues to probe on a length and a line outside off stump. This time of the right-hander Klaassen. There's going to be no run. Point does the fielding. There's one ball left in the over, which has gone for only 2 so far. And there are 35 minutes left in the innings, which, according to the screen graphics, is right on target for Bangladesh.
We did it. Come on, Bangladesh. 1 victory already.
Oh, Pat Benatar too.
There we go. Pat Benatar and Joan Jett. It feels like they've kind of cornered the market in a certain type of music.
Messes, are you just reading out a list of names of people I've never heard of?
We're just making up names now.
Some of them.
Colin
Google that?
Buchanan Smith. You remember him?
I thought I had elevated the conversation.
Harry Chapin was from Long Island too. There you go. As was Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh wow, okay. Now I've got a feeling in my head that W.C. Fields has got something to do with Long Island. Did he
You guys
live
are
there
really
or born
good
there?
at people. But there's an over to be completed here, and it's driven away, slightly full of that one. And Klaassen will get a single to complete the over. So just 3 off it. Well bowled by Taskin.
Yeah.
It's 64 for 4 after 12.
Leah says, "Hi, Richard. Oh no, that was when the bear was sitting for you. The screen needs a tweak," says Pokey, because it's only showing space for 1 when there are 2 of us. Cobus Olafsev says, "Oh, come on, who doesn't know Alec Baldwin?" Well, I think one's entitled not to know lots of things. The mystery is sometimes the place to be. And Leah says, "I think the bottom of the barrel for Long Islanders has to be Anthony Kernier, who I've never heard of."
No, who is that?
And fourth, he says, "My friend Tara Needham is on the poor bit of Long Island. She can just see Jay-Z's mansion across the street.
Of
Straight. I
course.
still look at that and I want to say Jay-Z every time I see it."
Jason.
Here's Richard starting a new over, and it has not gone well for him, as Klaassen clouts that away with a good old-fashioned cut shot along the ground. And despite the valiant attempts of the fielder, he's got himself a 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm sorry that we forgot Tara there, of course. That international celebrity, often gracing the cover of Vogue and Hello magazine.
I enjoyed that shot. He chopped down on it nicely, and no intention of trying to smack it over the fielder's heads. It makes me feel happy as an old man. As does the following shot, which is just a single. So 5 up the over already.
Richard, how many do you think, or do you want South Africa realistically to get from here?
Well, I've been thinking from the start that 3 figures is something to bowl at, and I haven't been feeling, considering we were 12 for 4 against the Netherlands the other day, 23 for 4 or whatever it was today. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't get a wicket for the next 4 overs. We need to get to 85, 90, but if that can happen... Oh, he could have left that one alone, actually, for a wide, could Miller, but he's chosen to drop the bat on it, and they will get back for 2. That wasn't the greatest delivery from Richard there.
No, and Miller, I think there's probably few times that you'd see Miller on 17 from 21 balls.
I think that the teams are slowly learning what needs to be done on this pitch, and really Miller in particular had to play a bit of Test cricket the other day in that recovery against the Dutch.
Yes, he was the key. He made 59 from 51.
He'll add 1 to his total here. I'm not sure he intended to just squirt down in the direction of backward square leg. He was trying to drive it more towards mid-on, but all safe and sound.
And what do you think about Klaassen? Because I think Klaassen looks unhappy at the moment. He's gesturing all over the place like he's trying to swat a fly at the end of every delivery.
He's probably unhappy because he keeps on having to come in at not very many for 3 or 4. And as he won't be happy after that one. That one's bounced and turned and has left Klaassen looking not very elegant.
Yeah, no, he's off down the pitch, isn't he, to inspect that. The hands were thrown up in the air as a gesture of disbelief.
I mean, it could be generally that the pitch is what's making him unhappy.
Yes, I
The
think.
earlier dismissals in the top order all earned looks of disdain from the South African. Here is a wicket. Order.
No, he's missed it. There's a stomping attempt, isn't there? But I think he was in his crease, was he?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's the good old classic. Thought he was bowled, but it was actually a stumping attempt. And all is well. Into the over 72 for 4. Social World.
Well, I was just going to say the highest success for run chase has been South Africa's of 106. So I reckon 120 is a pretty good score. The highest second innings score is 125 for 7 by Ireland when they lost by 12 to Canada. So yeah,
That's good
120 is
context.
a big score on this pitch.
They did have a look at that stumping between overs, and it's confirmed as not out. So Mustafizur can continue.
Karen Roseblade says iced tea. That's from Long Island, cousin of the actor Ice Cube, I believe. And Michael Bedford says Alec Baldwin. What a long way from Long Island to Coronation Street.
If only Alec Baldwin had been Mike's nephew.
Here he is, left arm, Mustafizur, and it's a lovely
unlucky.
straight drive by Miller, but it's a bit too straight, unfortunately. He's caught the woodwork at the other end, no run.
It's too straight, isn't it? So if they went for like 6 and over from here, that would get them up to something pretty decent on the basis of what you were saying, Messi.
Yes,
Which is doable.
certainly would. Yeah.
Romo
I don't know if any of the
5.47.
three of us are as agile in mental arithmetic enough to say anything more than something pretty decent. But you're right. That's
You got me
short.
there,
That's
yeah.
really banged in. Outside off stump. There's a little warning sign from the square leg umpire, but it'll go down as a dot ball. It wasn't quite high enough to be a wide. Left alone, incidentally, by Miller.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, Richard. I started the calculation, stopped halfway through. Which is always the brave man's approach to mathematics.
I was going to say, yes, brave of you to start.
Thank you.
Uh,
Are either of
It's
you
a
guys
bit-
actually good on maths? Are you good at mental arithmetic and figuring out the scores?
I'm hopeless. This one is smothered through the... Well, it would have been if there wasn't a fielder in the way. Straight into the covers, into the cover fielder by Miller. And it's, as I say, cut off. So 3 dot balls to start the over, and that always means an air of expectancy. Could be a test of patience for the South African batsmen here. They need to not panic. There was at some point 12 dot balls in a row, I think, in that recovery against
Wow.
the Dutch. And that involved getting to 3 figures. So what will the 4th delivery bring? It's actually angled down leg side. That could also have been a wide. And again, Miller has chosen to take the single.
Yeah, I think that's a really good shout, that as well, because, you know, the Fizz is a tremendous bowler, but you look at that South African bowling attack and you look at this pitch, and they've surely got to back themselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, Marco Jansen, up and down pitch, tall man.
God, yeah.
I mean, it's got his name written all over it, and if he can bowl as well as he did against the Dutch. I mean, I love Marco Jansen on a good day. You can bring Mitchell Stark, but Jansen on a good day,
Yeah.
doesn't have them as consistently.
Yeah.
But he can be just as impressive as the similarly lanky Australian, I think.
Yes, absolutely. But he does have some really shitty days.
That's his trouble. This one's angled across him and short, and Klaasen knocks that away fairly gently into the deep behind square on the offside. 1 run.
Yeah, this is like a preschool teacher at the moment. They're dealing in ones. It really is just ticking things over. I mean, the pitch, of course, is contributing to it massively, but Bangladesh are bowling well.
Well, South Africa have had some practice at that. They've got some perspective over the weekend against the men in orange, and they just know they've got to play a little bit of test cricket for the next couple overs still with 4 down. Having said that, Miller plays through the line on this one. He has cleared long off for one of these.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6.
Lovely shot.
Yeah, he really got hold of all of that, didn't he?
Nicely in the arc, that was.
Yeah, that was set up.
80 for 4 at the end of the over.
Mayank says Lindsay Lohan, Howard Stern, and President Theodore Roosevelt.
Ooh.
That's
Also-
up the game.
Yeah, hello.
Fuck Seinfeld, not funny, and an annoying little fuck. I wouldn't go too far to disagreeing with you on that. Brian Barish said Soledad O'Brien is a journalist who was on NBC. Mike says Nassau County is huge, 1.4 million, making it larger than my entire state of Delaware, which just crossed 1 million last year. Also, east of Nassau County is Suffolk County, which is the last 1/3 of the island, and that's another 1.5 million.
That's astonishing. And do we know why Nassau is called Nassau? Isn't it something to do with William of Orange?
Well, I thought about that over the weekend when we were playing against the Dutch. I thought that could be a sign, not the kind of sign South Africans want to think about. Anyway, here's Mahmudullah, and it's just worked into the gap. That square leg, and they will trot very gently through for a single.
I've got vague memories of someone, a friend of mine who used to live that way, telling me that it had something to do with William of Orange, like William of Orange's house is actually called Nassau or something like that. Please disprove me, someone.
The name Nassau County originated from an old name for Long Island, which was at one time named Nassau after the Dutch family of King William III of England.
Oh, there we go.
The House of Nassau.
Fired in at the leg stump of Miller here by Mahmudullah. No run, as he just blocks it away on the leg side.
And itself named after the German town in Nassau. There you go.
Okay. You see, this friend who told me is never to be trusted entirely.
You learn so much here on Guerrilla Cricket. Miller makes room for himself to a ball that's heading towards the leg stump, but plays it up to mid-off. He'll pick up another one.
They're doing more work at the moment post-delivery, gesturing with their hands of where they wanted to play it and what the ball should have done to them, which gives you an idea of how difficult this pitch is to get it away.
Yeah. Which will make the top order sitting in the clubhouse feel a bit better about things, that these guys who haven't got out in a hurry are also having their difficulties. There's going to be one run out into the sweeper position in the offside there for Klaassen.
But they're doing what you talked about, Richard, before. Like Miller's on 25 now, Klaassen's on 33. They're sticking in there, and we know from those other matches that a 40-plus cameo can be the difference between winning and losing. So if they can get both of these guys up there, they are in a very good position.
Yeah, they've got to have an over in mind. We're going to be 4 down at 17 or 18. I don't know what it is, but they've got to be 4 down at a certain point. They must have that in their heads. This one is swept, the first sweep shot I can remember seeing today, and it's elegantly executed, actually, by Miller. He'll just get one for that, fielded by the man down on the boundary.
Klaassen, I suppose, always looks slightly uncertain. He's got those uncertain sort of piss hole in the snow kind of eyes, hasn't he? Which just adds a bit of a
South African male thing. You can never look like you're enjoying yourself. Trust me.
Well, he's nailed it. He's peak South Africa there.
You're not allowed to complain or moan either. That's the other cardinal rule. You'll never hear the end of it. This one is a bit googly-ish, I think. But it's wrapped him on the pad, but definitely missing leg, and it brings up the end of the over. 84-44 after 15. Do we have a change of team?
We do indeed.
All right, well, I will leave when I thought I was about to start then, right?
And
yes,
okay.
Do indeed. Thank you, Richard.
See you later.
Thank you.
See you later.
Annie Muttley is the next tweet.
Hello,
Annie,
Bennett.
Annie and Bear. Hello, Bear. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Hello, Annie.
Hello.
I don't
hey,
think.
How are you doing?
I don't think you want a spinner on this wicket at all. You want 5 pacers, man, don't you?
No, I don't agree with that.
Do you not? I don't. I think.
I love this because Bear and I never agree with anything. This is why Bear always schedules me with him, because we always don't agree, and it's a good listen.
Opposite side. Well, I think you've got a chance with the spinners because you can get out to it, but you can't get out to a.
Yeah, but it's just one side, one sort of dimension, right? You want some kind of variety.
But you don't need it. The pitch is offering you so much. You don't need. That's the point. That's why I'm saying it. I wouldn't say that. Look, I think.
Hold that thought, Bear. It's Tansim starting the 16th over, and he's just bowled it far and wide, and the umpires get some exercise, stretch out their arms, and signal a wide. Yes, I agree. The pitch gives a lot of differentiation, but however. Don't you think a bit of spin, a bit of turn?
No, you played it. I don't. Well, no, I think you played to the conditions, and the conditions say pace all the way.
Of course. Tanzim bowls, and this one's short. This one's played towards the onside. I don't know what you described that shot. Was that a hoik? Was that a tuck?
Short arm jab,
Was
really,
that,
wasn't it?
Yes, in a jam. Yes, that's probably
I want
more
to
like
ask
it.
you both why South Africa chose to bat.
I don't know. Was the answer to that one.
Oh well, it's not a very good
I
one.
no, well, no, because
Isn't it?
I was surprised. I would have decided
Yeah.
to bowl. I mean, with the bowling
Well,
attack they've got.
I think they trust their batting first kind
Well,
of
that's what I
capability,
wondered,
right?
yeah.
Because Klaasen, for example, he really bats well when he, like Sunrise Hyderabad, they really well when they batted first. Markham and himself are really good.
I would say again, I give you the opposite of that, Bennett. I disagree with that.
That's fine. I'd love to disagree with you, Bear. This one's over-pitched and played towards the mid-wicket area, and there is no chance of a run. So Tansim, the pick of the bowlers, 3 for 16. He's bowling his 4th over. If you've just tuned in, welcome. This is Bennett, Bear, and the lovely Annie keeping you company for the next 5 overs. South Africa winning the toss. The debate is, why did they choose to bat? Feel free to air your views. Write to us. Tell us what you think as Tansim bowls. This one short. It's a bit of a swivel there as he doesn't know where the ball was going. He was trying to hit it towards the deep mid-wicket stroke, deep fine leg area. The bat, he swerved a little bit and it got the top edge of the bat going towards the short third man area, and the batters go through for a single. Good, impressive bowling by this chap, Bear. Tansim.
Yeah, he has. But again, I think the wicket's really helpful for the Pacers. I think South Africa probably bat first because they're shit at chasing.
You think?
Yeah, well, traditionally that's been a way.
This is what I was thinking. This one's over-pitched. Hold on, Annie. 1 second. Driven. Upishly towards long on. The batters go through for a single. Come on, Annie.
Or they rate their bowling?
Well, they do rate their bowling. I agree, but that's the thing. I think they can defend shit, especially on this. I think they think, wow, this is our wicket, isn't it? It's suited to the South African bowling all the way down the line.
And they know that their batters can. They've got Clausen, they've got Miller. They know that they've got big hitters, and if they don't get the big hits, then maybe they have something.
But what would you say is a good score? Does anyone?
120. I said 120. I think it's a good score.
Tansim bowls. He had an impressive outing in the first game as well. He's got a nice slingy action and bit of pace. He's only 21 years. He's pushed towards the mid-off area. The batters go through for 1. A bit of a shy at the non-striker's end. But
I said 130, but I think I was. I think I'll probably revise that now.
I mean, yesterday India's. Sorry, go on, Ben.
Oh, no, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, 120 is quite a big score. It seems to be, if you've got bowling, you can defend it yesterday, as you say. I mean, India, defended 107, was it, or something?
117,
100, yeah, something like that. It wasn't a lot.
South Africa, 88 for 4 in the 16th over. The debate is, what would be a winning score or a comfortable score? What are your thoughts? Let us know. Join us, Bennett, Bear, and Annie here, trying to figure out what would be a score here. 16th over, and Tansim bowls. This one's pushed away to the covers. No chance of a run. South Africa winning the toss, deciding to bat 90 for 4. The batters out: Hendricks, Quinton de Kock 18, Markham 4, and Tristan Stubbs without troubling the scorers. What have you got, Annie?
Well, I've got Mayank, who's saying, Safa's sitting with me in the stands saying the same thing. Why would you bat first? You've played 2 games here and know the conditions. That said, they have 87 with 5 overs left, and that's a great score. I think it's not a bad score.
I don't think it's a bad score. I've got under 123 and a half, which is going to be quite tight. It could go completely out of wind. I mean, the other thing to say here, Bennett, isn't it, that now they're 90 for 4, and now they're at 16th over. Give it one more over, and these two can go Burko.
See, I mean, if you notice, they're not showing any sense of urgency.
Yeah.
They're not looking to hoik. I mean, because they know that they can do it when they want to, but if they lose their wickets, they've got 5 other batters to come.
That's
so
it.
Sensible batting, playing within your means, I think, Annie and Bear.
But the point is, they're both finishers as well in a traditional T20 sense. So if they can get through to the 17th over, then they can go into finishing mode and maybe get some big
Marco
scores.
Jansen comes next. He can hit the long ball. So can Maharaj and Rakesh Rabada. This one's pushed towards the short extra cover. No chance of a run. Interesting, isn't it? We've always seen batters tonking the ball and scores of 200, 250, 300. Here we are. Keen tussle between bat and ball. Mahmudullah, experienced campaigner, former captain of Bangladesh, is again bowling well within his field. Shortish on the back foot goes Miller, trying to pierce the field. Not successful as he drives it on the back foot straight into the short extra cover. No chance of a run. Miller 27.
Yeah,
off
not
33.
many boundaries in the last couple of overs, are there? None at all, in fact.
No, this is a difficult wicket. It's very easy to hit the field, isn't it?
Yep.
Key for South Africa is they haven't lost wickets. For me, that's the the most important part here. Mohamed Labose and overpitched, driven, no footwork, but drives it towards the long off area, and the batters go through for a single. Miller moves up to 28. Batters on strike now. Klaasen, they're very comfortable holding their wicket, pushing and plodding along, just ones, twos here and there, just getting the scoreboard moving, making sure the wickets are intact.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, when Klaasen hit those 2 sixes about 4, 5, 6 overs ago, you thought, oh, they're going to move on now, but that was just out of the blue, and haven't seen it. That was my point about spinners. I think you can get after the spinners a little bit more because they've got a bit of air.
Mahmudullah bowls this one slightly overpitched, and he gives himself the full backing class, and it didn't seem like he was hitting it, did it? It was effortless, seamless, as he hikes this one beautifully over the bowler's head, right into the stands, and that is another 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that's
a little bit shorter though, Bear, and it could have been a wicket, and that's what they want.
Yeah, but that's it. With no pace on the ball, you get its length slightly wrong. You got more. You got more margin for error.
In. This one's over midland, off. Sorry, Bear. This one's tucked towards the mid-wicket area, and the batters comfortably come back for 2. It's amazing how he backs himself. I've watched him in the IPL as well. When he tonks them, they stay tonked. Don't they?
Yeah, he's a big man. He hits it a long fucking way.
Yeah, and I love the way he plays on the back foot. It's not easy to play that on the, normally, but this is a front foot shot, but usually, even on the back foot, you know when he's got it, it's gone. This one's overpitched and tucked away towards the mid-wicket. The batters take the first run fast. They look for the second. The fielder, they're equal to the task. That's the end of Mahmudullah's third over, none for 17. At the end of over number 17, South Africa winning the toss, 104. Miller on 28 off 36. Klaasen 44 off 41. What have you got, Annie?
Well, I do have Muttley has decided to send us pictures of an AI generated Baldwin brothers as half-orc characters for his D&D campaign. So thank you, Muttley. They're quite classy. And Warren says, I'm predicting Annie Chave's handover to Messi Jez. Messi, the next message is from Alexander Graham Bell.
Oh, that's harsh. Who was that? Was that Jay?
Warren it was. I think that is a bit cruel, isn't it?
Leave our Annie alone.
I've had worse comments. Somebody asked me when I was talking about that I'm origins come from Sri Lanka. Somebody asked me the other day, do you have electricity there when you were growing up?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, thank you anyway.
I forgive you, Warren.
Was that in Wales?
Tuskin comes, no, like from Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka they were asking, because I said I grew up in Sri Lanka. This one's overpitched, driven into the covers. No chance of a run. And interesting, will they shift the gears here, Annie and Bear?
Yeah, well, they need
they're
to,
trying. They're trying. They're clearly trying. It's just not that
There's
easy.
There's no point not losing the wickets if you're not going to score.
Can you imagine with India struggling at 110 or 120 and nobody expected them to win, did they?
No.
And
No, I really wanted Pakistan to win that. I really wanted Pakistan to win it.
Yeah. I mean, my predictions from a cricketing aspect was India was going to win. I thought India was going to thrash Pakistan, but personally I wanted Pakistan to win.
Exciting game.
Tuskin bowls. This one's played on the onside. They're trying to play with soft hands and gives them enough time to come back for 2. On the onside there, the field is quite deep. Clever batting by Klaasen, working hard to come back for 2. 102 for 4. Klaasen on 40.
What we are finding is, though, that people can score quite easily with a new ball for a few overs, and then it seems to people
difficult.
Struggling.
But that's how it should be, you know.
Yeah, no, it is, but it's not how it has been.
No, well, no.
Tuskin. This one's and he's castled the stumps. Klaasen this time looking to give room and play a stroke over the bowler's head. The ball was a bit too quick. It beat him through his shot there and castles the stumps as Klaasen goes for a well compiled 46 or 44. He was watchful in the last couple of overs, looking to break free. But Taskin, the young fast bowler from Pakistan, having his man caught, bowled actually, Henrik Klaasen bowled by Taskin Ahmed for 46 with the score 102. South Africa lose their 5th wicket.
Back. By the time that I do, you'll be gone.
Of course, Taskin is from Bangladesh, not Pakistan.
Oh, did I say Pakistan?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I was thinking.
I was thinking maybe he is actually. I thought, was he born in Pakistan and moved around?
Maybe,
and you know something I don't. But
maybe he's commentating a different game then.
Well, Klaasen would be the one they would be happier to get out. I think he's been scoring slightly faster. Miller's only 28 off 36 balls.
Yeah, but they both finishers, aren't they? I mean,
oh yeah, they're both
and the point is that Klaasen have faced 40 balls now.
Yeah,
so
but like I'm saying, I think it's hard to be a finishing batsman on these wickets.
It is, but then how do you define a finisher in these circumstances? Do you bash? Do you hold on and rotate?
I think at this point in the game, if you can get 10 and over for the last 4 overs, that's pretty good.
Wishful thinking.
Well, it is kind of, but
yeah,
that seems like a Herculean-like task, isn't it? I mean, considering what we've seen in this tournament. But I like the way this game's set up in these conditions. I mean, the bowlers have an equal chance to get in and have a bit of a competitive edge, as we've seen, as Taskin with his tail up. This one's outside the off stump and he plays it towards the onside. A close call as the fielder on that occasion tries to shy at the stumps, and Jansen crosses over without much of a fuss. So he's off the mark. He's on one. Jansen, we know he can hit the ball long ball. He's tall. He's got long levers. I've seen him play some nice innings for South Africa in the past. They've lost Klaasen, the batters to come. Maharaj is there. We got Rabada, Nokia, and Bartman.
Do you think that the batters can't, in this pitch, they can't play their natural game? Because
because the ball's actually doing something.
Yeah.
So you can't just throw your hands through the ball, can you?
Taskin comes in. This one's short, and Miller on the back foot, looking to break free, but didn't really time or place that one. It goes straight into the deep squalling area, and they go through for a quick single.
Miller's not breaking free, is he? He's shackled. He's absolutely shackled.
He's going with the Bangles, and the Queen saying, I want to break free, but he's trying hard. I hope he's not fallen in love for the first time, as per the Bangles. But here it is. The bowlers, Tansim,
walking like an Egyptian.
Walking like an Egyptian, yes, indeed. 3 for 18, Saqib, Tansim, the pick of the bowlers. Taskin Ahmed has taken 2 for 16 as he comes down. This one's outside the off stump, pushed on the back foot towards the cover area, the third man area, as they look for the second. And Jansen has lost his bearings there. He's slipped over and not able to come back for the second. At the end of over number 18, 105 for 5. Miller 29 off 37. Jansen 2 off 3. Annie.
Brian in Brisbane says, afternoon all. Sappers seem confused about their play. And Kobus Ulus says, South Africa bat first because they trust their bowling attack to defend, which is kind of what I said. Brian Barish on Twitter leaps to my defence from Warren. This is uncalled for. We all know that the correct answer here is Marconi. I'm not sure that's very defensive, Brian, but Jay Graver says, fuck off, I'm always nice to Annie, apart from when she demonstrates crippling ineptitude in matters of jingling, pronunciation, tweet reading and life. And then he puts in
an apology.
Messing.
Yeah, he's messing with you. He's messing with
me.
We all have those little foibles in our lives.
Well, Annie, the viewers are keeping you company there, just keeping you entertained.
They are, aren't they? Thanks a lot, guys. Farong says lowest scorer so far this tournament is 39. Bangladesh to bat. New record incoming.
New over. Rishad is the new bowler, leggy, and this one short on the back foot, pushed into the mid-wicket area.
I'd hate to think Bangladesh would only get 39.
And the batters go through for a quick single.
I fancy the South African attack against this Bangladeshi lineup on this pitch, I have to say.
I don't think you can predict much in these games, can you?
Well, you can predict that this is a low-scoring pitch and it's good for the bowlers, and South Africa have a pretty good bowling unit, let's face it.
Can you imagine what Pakistan would have thought when they got India less 120?
Yeah, well, to be fair, who did they were interviewing Amir, I think, at the halfway stage. Oh, my word.
Hold on a second. Richard bowls flighted, and Miller, the prize wicket of Miller, he's able to get this one. He was giving room, trying to hike this one, and he is bowled him, cleans up the well-settled David Miller. And this is going back to say why spinners are as important in the clock.
Well,
what have you got?
They are important, obviously, but he's missed that. He's been beaten in the flight, actually. He's a top spinner, isn't it?
Right. He's just beaten him all ends up.
Well, it's a top spinner. He's got it to dip. And he's thought he's at the pitch of the ball. He's nowhere near the pitch of the ball, to be fair. He's played for a bit of spin, there isn't, because it's a top spinner. And we have to say goodbye to David Miller.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
And actually, that's 29 or 38, which in the T20
I don't
ain't
think
great.
he'd be pleased with that.
No.
But in the context of wickets, guys, that's exactly what I was saying from the beginning. For me, it's a game where keeping wickets intact plays a vital role. These two boys, they were looking to break free, they couldn't. At least they were there. Now
they have, and they've still got 4 wickets left, right? So you've only got what, 10 balls left, but
10 balls.
You've got 4 wickets, 10 balls. You can give it some Humpty now. Or
if
try to.
Well-set batters like these two guys who've been playing in the last few months quite a lot can get out like the way they did. Can you imagine the others who are coming in, not had much of a game time in these conditions, how difficult it'll be for them. Maharaj is the batter, and Richard with his tail up. Nice flight and loop. This one he sweeps it. Didn't know much about that, but it swept well. And the batters come back for 2. Richard, 4th over, 1 for 31. South Africa, apologies, in a bit of a situation. They've lost 2 quick wickets, 2 well-set batters. Henry Claassen and David Miller back in the pavilion, 46 and 29 respectively. They must have been quite disappointed, having been settling down, waiting for that onslaught. Now it's Maharaj and Marco Jansen. This one's Maharaja on the front foot, defensively played. Have you heard of anybody defending the ball in the last few years playing T20 cricket in the 19th over?
No,
ladies and gentlemen,
not really.
This is where we are. This is where we are watching a game where someone's defending on the 19th over. This one's, again, he slashes this one outside the off stump, playing to the leg spinner, gets an edge and goes towards the 3rd man area. And the batters go through for a quick single.
I have to say, my under 123.5 is looking quite good right now with 7 balls left.
Indeed. I kind of like this guy, Bear. Richard, the way he's bowling. Clever.
He's alright. He's a bit raw.
I like the way he's playing with his flight, not afraid to toss the ball up, teasing the batters, confusing
And he got
them.
the wicket.
And he got the wicket too. Good spell by him. 4 overs, 1 for 32. The other one is just played back to the bowler.
Well, 32
the last ball of his swings.
Is nearly a third of the runs they've conceded in 4 overs.
Exactly. 8 runs an over. He's been expensive.
It's been expensive.
But not in that over, he wasn't.
Not in that. Yes.
No.
What have you got, Andy? Anything exciting for us?
Stephen Kelk says, love the tag team use of Humpty by Bear and Tonking by Bennett.
Thank you. Thank you. Great get those comments in. Yeah.
And Farong on Twitter says Tigers need to remember that this pitch is close to the Mirpur pitch than we'll ever play on. Keep calm and don't go harder. NNR not so important. 2 points for a win is.
Yeah, agreed. They won their first game, didn't they, Bangladesh? So 2 points will be important.
They did.
Who else in that?
20 teams.
Who what?
Sorry.
If they beat South Africa, that's the other big team in their group. They got Sri Lanka in this group as well, haven't they?
Yeah, there's Bangladesh beat Sri Lanka.
That's right. Yeah.
Sri Lanka lost most Mustafizur bowls, and he's a very clever campaign outside the off stump, further away from the batter, but well within his rights as a bowler. The umpire is not interested, so dot ball, clever bowling.
Yeah, the batter just gave itself too much room.
Well, that's it. If they beat Sri Lanka and they beat South Africa, they're as good as through, aren't
Yeah.
they? In theory, should beat the Minnows. Who's the Minnows in their group?
Sri Lanka probably.
Well,
Bangladesh.
Oh dear, these days I don't know what to say. Mustafizur, it comes in left arm over the wicket, and this once again clever, absolutely clever bowling. I love that. Just outside the off stump, he's got his different variations that he cutters and nippers and whatever you call them, variation of pace outside the off stump. 20th over, Maharaj is struggling to get bat on ball outside the off stump. Have a big swing. He knew it was coming. Still, he couldn't get a nice angle there, Bear. Beautiful angle,
Yeah.
just outside the off stump. And
close to the line.
further.
Yeah, so
Really, really clever bowling.
Nepal and the Netherlands are the two teams they've got to play. They've got to fancy the chances if they win this.
Yeah.
Mr. Fasid bowls, hold that thought. This once again very clever bowling outside the off stump on a good length. Maharaj just swinging wildly and nowhere near the line or the pitch of the ball. He's bowled 3 dot balls in the last over of the innings. Can you believe it, guys?
Well, that's what happens.
Well,
That's what happens
last
when.
few overs,
That's
they
what
just
happens when a brand new batsman's at the crease as well. You know.
That's right. But they haven't scored hardly any runs in the last few overs.
And they've got 4 overs remaining. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is South Africa winning the toss, taking first lease of this wicket, struggling here with 109 for 6. The 4th ball goes in the same direction, similar result, a similar hike, and the ball goes sailing past the outstretched arms of Keshav Maharaj, who was desperate to get bat on ball. 20th over, 109 for 6. Mustafa Sir, the bowler, batters out. Risa Hendricks, Quinton de Kock for 18. Hendricks without troubling the scorers. Aiden Markham for 4. Tristan Stubbs without troubling the scorers. Good partnership in the middle by Hendrik Klaassen and David Miller, bringing them out of the wood. Shortish, and this one's a wide. He was stepped out of his crease too towards the offside, but not enough for the umpires to consider that. Is that a review?
No, you can't review wide. No, I think they're hurrying along because they're maybe over time now.
Right. White ball called by the umpire. What's your thoughts on the next few balls, Bear?
Well, I just don't need more than 13 runs, which I don't think can happen unless he bowls a no ball, which case I'm happy.
No, I see. It's all down to you, isn't it?
It's all down to me and the money at the bookies, basically.
Mr. Wizard comes in, and this one's short, an ugly looking hike there towards the mid wicket. There's no fielder. The fielder from mid-on has to run around, but Maharaj relieved to cross over to the non-strikers there. That is giving Marco Jansen the start, the kind of strike.
Christ.
So 1 ball remaining. 1 ball remaining to go. 1-1-1.
Isn't that woman a bit scared being in America wearing a headband with what looks like Islamic writing on it? They might think she's some sort of crazy woman.
1 ball remaining. Left arm over the wicket. And Maharaj on 4 of 8. Jansen 3 of 4. So Henrik Klaassen and David Miller had a nice little partnership, and they were looking content to rotate the strike. A bit of hitting in the middle. Both were out in quick succession. And this one's shortish on the back foot. Punched past the bowler towards the long on area. Not much power. Gives enough chance for the batters to come back for 2, as there was not much power, and the field at long on had to run quite a bit to get to that. And at the end of over number 20, end of innings, South Africa winning the toss. 113 for 6. Maharaj on 4. Jansen on 5. Just quickly run through the scorecard for you. Risa Hendricks out for naught. Quinton de Kock 18. Markham 4. Stubbs out without scoring. Henrik Klaassen 46 of 44. David Miller 29 of 38. Marco Jansen 3 not out. Maharaj 3 not out. 1-1-0 for 6. Extra 7 of the bowling. Sakib Tanzim 3 for 18 off 4. Taskin Ahmed 2 for 19 off 4. The opening bowlers, certainly the pick of the bowlers, did really well for them. Mustafa Rahman did well the last over just for 1 or 2 runs. 4 overs, none for 15. Rishad Hussain, 4 overs, 1 for 32. Shakib Al Hussain just bowled the 1 over for 6. And Mahmudullah, good containing spell there, 3 overs, none for 17. Bear.
Yeah, I think they'll think, whilst they want loads more, I think everyone has kind of adjusted for this wicket, and that's in the right ballpark. Maybe they want 10, 15 more, but it's certainly a defendable score here with their bowling attack, and I think it wouldn't surprise me if Bangladesh end up something like 50 for 6, and we'll see where it goes from there. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what I think. I think Bangladesh is going to cause a huge upset today.
Well, I don't think it'd be an upset if they beat them. I mean, they're two supposedly top tier teams.
I think it would be upset there.
I don't think in not a massive upset.
No.
I think South Africa are probably favourites going into this game because we know what they've got. But it's T20 and Bangladesh have got some experienced players who play Bangladesh Premier League. They play other places. They've got some decent spinners. They've got some hitters. Maybe their hitters generally aren't as consistent as some of the Saffers, and not so many of them play in the IPL, so maybe you don't know so much about them. But this is a game about hitting a long ball and being able to work the field. And with lower scores, you don't have to hit as many long balls and be able to work the field a little bit more.
It's just being a little bit clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just pinching those singles and twos and making sure. I think for me, the most important thing in these games is making sure you don't lose a wicket, because even though you get bogged down, you're rest assured that. I played a game on Saturday where it was quite similar on one of the league games. If you're struggling, the guys who are coming behind you probably struggle worse.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, absolutely. Yeah,
So if you you need to hang out there a bit around, as we saw. The thing is, Heinrich Klaassen and David Miller did that perfectly, but when it came to kick on, they got out.
I just want to bring just one person in, Cobus, who says, I want to put something out here. People criticise the pitches in the US, but aren't the basics of cricket to score more runs than the opposite opponents? And we have become so accustomed to raining sixes, and I agree, yeah.
Well, absolutely, and that's why this is interesting. It's to a certain degree, it's more fun. Because the thing is, with a score of 111, you can be 60 for 6 at the end, but if you've got bangers and someone actually does manage to get their iron on this, getting 60 off of 5 or 6 overs is still a possibility with a low-scoring game.
Yeah,
if you're chasing,
I like spicy picket.
Exactly. If you're chasing 220 and you get 6 down for 60 in, say, even 7 overs, the chance of you getting that 220 is so much lower, just because of the differential in the score.
Also want both sides, the batters and the bowlers, to have an equal chance to sort of make a game out of it. I mean, if you think of the rules, most of the rules these days have come in favour of the batters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the bowlers have only one short ball that they can bowl, and there's so much of nitty-gritties.
Leg side wides are basically anything down the leg side is a wide,
Waist, sort of, whatever. And the batters have all these big, huge bats that never, when the time that we were young playing, you couldn't really find any of these. They've got a big,
tree trunk.
Boundaries.
Short boundaries, big bats. Yeah, exactly. Everything's invited to favour. And as a bowler, personally, it's nice to see. And I prefer low-scoring thrillers than,
as a bowler, you only have 4 overs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
In T20, you don't.
You can't really do it. Yeah, exactly that. I think it is fun. I mean, scores of 140, 120 to 160 make the game much more pleasant to watch as a T20. Than 220, because 220 you basically got to bash it out of the park from the off, and it's very easy to lose 4 or 5 wickets very quickly because you can't stop. I mean, you criticised Butler the other night for doing that shot. Now, that's fair enough, but when you're chasing 200, you've got to play those shots, right? You've got to get 10 and over for 20 overs. You don't really have any time to stop. You've got to go. I mean, that was part of the problem with England's chase the other day. They let Australia get away. That opening partnership really basically won the game for them, I think. Whereas a game with a lower score, you've got a little bit more time to play it, and it makes it more fun.
You're like Al's stats. He's got Bangladesh 8 to 11 favourites, South Africa 11 to 10.
Yeah, it's pretty even. I actually fancy the Saffers to defend this with an attack on this wicket, but we shall see. We're going to have a little break because
And then it's us three back again.
And it's us three back again. I presume it's the other way round, isn't it? I'm doing ball by ball and you're summarising. No, it's exactly the same way round. Okay, we'll see you for the beginning of the Bangladesh innings. And we'll see you in probably only about 5 minutes now. But we'll see you shortly. Okay,
cheers, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Well.
Is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
The Bishop and the Bear, the Bishop and the Bear, and to the delight of everyone, they are here to share jokes and rants and guests and things. Who knows what any fun they'll bring?
Not affiliated with the Mad Bishop and Bear pub at Paddington Station.
The Bishop and the Bear, bands beyond compare, buckets of savoir-faire. The Bishop and the Bear.
Welcome back to the Bishop and Bear. Now, who do you think of when you think about a hard man? Vinnie Jones? Norman Hunter? Mike Tyson? Well, it's none of those we're going to chat about today. We want to focus on cricket's hard men, the toughest characters from the history of cricket. Our guest on the bar stool of bravado is Richard Sydenham, sports journalist and author of a book which is all about that very subject, cricket's hard men. Richard, a huge welcome to the Bishop and Bear.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Delighted. What can we get you to drink?
Oh, Banks's mild.
Banks's, there we go. We're slap bang in the Midlands. That places you geographically based on your beer selection immediately. Now, my first question for you, actually, was you're a lifelong Aston Villa fan. If I think hard men, I've got to think Paul McGrath. Did he ever play cricket?
Oh, I don't know about that, but he played football bloody well. But
he sure did.
It was never really a hard man. He was too good. He didn't need to be hard because he thought quicker than the next man. He was quick in pace, and he's just the best Villa player I've ever seen.
On next to no knees.
Sorry?
On next to no knees for me.
Yeah. I guess that made him pretty hard. The fact that he is no knees. Did a bit of cycling on a Friday afternoon and went out and was man of the match every Saturday. Yeah, it was pretty special, really.
Anyway, so we got your Bankses. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And then we'll come on to the book, and the idea for it. But just tell us about you.
So I started my journalism career in 1994, which was a good year to start out because I was covering predominantly Aston Villa and Warwickshire for a local paper in Birmingham. Obviously, that became Lara's year, 94.
Yeah.
For a rookie journalist, it was a pretty special time to be covering your local cricket team when, I was talking to Lara pretty much every week. He'd give me a few interviews. All the other guys, I'd call some of them friends now, and they were a really good bunch of guys. there was no press officers in those days, so you could just walk up to a player and ask for an interview, whether it was in the members' bar or just outside the changing rooms. Access was great. Equally, doing the same at the training ground of Aston Villa. Wander up to a player in the car park, they'd give you a phone number, or you just have in fact my first interview with Dwight York in the passenger seat of my Austin Maestro.
Nice.
Which was a theme of the day there. But,
there's a car and sportsman's theme here, Bear. Yeah. You and Clive Lloyd.
Well, yeah.
Richard and Dwight York.
That's how it all started, and obviously we are now where we are.
Well, so I mean, I've had a great time, I've got to say, reading the book we're sort of nattering about is Cricket. It's Hard Men, the toughest characters from the history of cricket. There's 22 of them. Did you kind of have in mind that you wanted 2 teams, or how did the number 22 come about? Just out of interest.
Yeah, it does seem a bit of a random number. I put the point there. Initially, I was looking at 25, and then I just thought it was a few too many, and I wanted to include those other chapters that I'm sure you'll ask me about the mental side of the sport.
Yeah.
So I just thought I don't want to overdo it. So I just thought these 22, to me, I felt like they picked themselves. Obviously, I had a few opinions from other people I spoke to, and that those were the 22 that we were left with.
Okay. So, I mean, the first question, and you're right. One of the things that really interested us was the fact that you have 2 very specific chapters on beating anxiety and depression, and we're beating demons, and then the growing understanding and how it's changed over time of anxiety and depression. And it was quite interesting that to set a context for Hardman. I mean, I've got to be honest. Before I picked up the book, I was thinking in my head. I'm thinking, who are cricket's Norman Hunters, Eddie McCready's, Ron Harris's, Tommy Smith's? Name any. I guess in my head, I'm thinking hard footballers who had that reputation for, let's say, pushing the rules beyond, and yet the selection is often more.
We're back.
Greetings, everyone.
That really was quick, wasn't it?
Sorry.
Yeah,
yes,
cool.
It was indeed. If you're just tuning in, it's Bear, Annie, and Bennett keep you company for
Put
the
your
next
picture on,
5
Bennett.
hours. Oh, sorry. Have I not?
There you go.
My apologies.
It's all right.
My apologies.
Ghost when Oh, I need to get under for the fall of the first wicket, don't I?
No problem at all. So we're here in for the second part of this game, the 21st match, Group D in New York. And the game between South Africa and Bangladesh. If you're just tuning in, Bangladesh lost the toss. South Africa batting first. 113 for 6 of the 20 overs. Top scorers Henry Klaas at 46 and David Miller 29. Pick of the bowlers. The 2 opening bowlers, Tansim Hassan Saqib 3 for 18 off 4, and Taskin Ahmed.
They're offering 12.5 runs for the fall of the first wicket.
Are you going to go for it?
Yeah, but that's really fucking harsh.
Is Marco Jansen, who's bowling the first over for South Africa. Left arm over, and he bowls it way outside the off stump, but well within his rights there. And the batter's shoulders, arms, or he looks to reach out, but doesn't do that. Watchfully watches.
A lot of swing there. Let me play some jingles for the people out on the pitch. It's this guy.
You think Marco would play polo, but there's more money in cricket.
There you go. Over to you.
Thank you. And next ball again, it's a dot ball. The 2 openers, the left-handed batter who's taking strike at the moment. They've lost their seasoned left-hand opener, right? Was his name Tani McBall, was he?
Taman's been in and out, so he's an old boy now, isn't he? Anyway, let's give some jingles for the openers. It's Tan with some
And left-handed, but not standard. Countermanded, it was remanded, just reprimanded, was cancelled.
Marco Jansen bowls, and this one's over, pitched on the leg stump, and Tansid Hassan flicks this one towards the long leg area, and the batters go through for a single. Tansit Hassan and Jay Kerali are the two openers. Marco Jansen.
Yeah, they've got Najmal up on the screen.
They've got who?
They've got Najmal up on the screen.
Is
as the opening batsman.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
But Crick Info have Jaka Ali.
Exactly. I'm going by Crick Info. That's how I got it right. Jansen bowls outside the off stump and watchful. Najmul watchful as it goes through to the wicket keeper. I don't know who's batting there. We'll come back to you and clarify that. But guys, this is quite interesting. When you have a low score like this, sometimes you can take it for granted. You can think we've got it in the bag and play a little bit more complacently than you would normally do. What are your thoughts on that, Annie and Bear?
Go, Annie.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think they'll all have a game plan in advance, and I think they'll be going out and thinking, right, what we need to do is score when the ball's harder.
Shortish, a bit of an awkward bounce there as on the back foot goes Najmul Hussain Shanto, the captain. I'm wrong there. It was the telecast name that was correct, not cricket.
You see, and that's the interesting thing, because in the I thought it was Shanto. Why can't they put up Shanto? Because that's what we all know him by. And also we got him as Nazmul, not Najmul. Anyway, he's got a jingle that goes like this.
Nazmul Hussain Shanto, he'd be pretty good in a panto.
Over to you.
Jansen, thank you. Oh, this is nice swing there. Not much of a carry there, Bear. He was flirting with danger outside the off stump, and it goes through to the wicketkeeper. End of a lovely first over by Jansen. 1 over none for 1. Tansid on 1 off 3. Najmul, the skipper Shanto, 0 off 3. Annie, whatever you were saying.
Yeah, I don't think I've got anyone from social media. I just think that basically, I think the ball tends to go faster off the new ball, obviously, and I think what's been happening is players have been getting more runs in the first few overs. So I think if I was Bangladesh, I think I'd be going, right, we need to score in the first few overs. I don't think they'll come in complacently.
What do you think, Bear?
Yeah, well, I'm in agreement. I think whilst you've A, got wickets in a hutch, and B, the ball is hard, go hard. As Dave would say, go harder. And I think you don't really want to lose more than 3 wickets in the power play, but I think you can afford to lose 2.
It's Rabada now, right arm over, the quickie. And again, as Annie said, the ball also goes equally quick to the boundary as overpitch, driven handsomely by Tansid, beating the cover fielders, bisecting the cover fielders for the first boundary of the innings. 5 for no loss.
Yeah, that was a good shot. It's a bit too full though, wasn't it? Tilt full, wide.
It was indeed. But guess what? I'm going to have a different opinion.
No.
Really? Get off, Messi. You're not on.
This one's short again, slashed. Oh, my opinion's going to change in a minute. And that one slashed and slashed well between the cover point and the third man area for a second boundary. So Rabada being welcomed to the crease, and Tansid Hassan has almost heard the whispers of the vivacious Annie Shav and the grizzly bear, and
so what is your different opinion?
Yeah, my opinion is that I'd like them to sort of make sure they don't lose wickets. They got 2 and like 5 runs and over to win, and just not take any too many risks. Play well within themselves.
Yeah, but just getting a few singles isn't gonna either get it, is it?
Of course, yeah. But not go.
T20 is a game of risks. Ooh.
Yes, again driven beautifully. Is there another boundary or is there a replay? No, that's a replay. Apologies. So 9 without loss. Viewers, what do you think? What would be the approach from the batting side when they have a low score to chase? Let us know. 9 without loss. Tansid looking good. 9 off 6, and this one's nicely driven again. Didn't get hold of it though, and it goes straight to the fielder there, who picks up. That's Hendricks. No chance of a run. Najmul Shanto, he's been around for a while. He's on the opposite side. He's a non-striker. Jay Kerali, the number 3. Lilton Das, he's been there for a while too. and he'll draw. He's a bit of a hit, isn't he? He can hit the ball. Hit draw. Rabada comes in, and this one's he kept low. Caught Tansip by surprise, but he was equal to the task. They could have crashed onto the stumps if he didn't get bat on ball, and place it rather awkwardly into the covers. No chance of a run. What's the next most interesting game coming up, guys, after this?
They're all interesting. They're all interesting.
I can't remember what we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed. Rabada comes in short, slashed outside the off stump, and is given him. He's given him. It was outside the off stump. It seemed like too close to the batter. He slashes it, and the umpires, without any hesitation, ruling him out, caught behind, and they've decided against taking the review.
Well,
as a skipper.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because Quinn de Kock didn't go up. Rabada went up. The umpire gave it straight away, and then they didn't review. So he must have known he hit it.
The non-striker was almost not convinced. He didn't back up the striker. Tanzid was looking good. He had 2 boundaries in that over.
I think he thought he'd hit it.
Oh yeah, I think that's quite close to the bat. I think he probably did. But Quinn de Kock really just didn't go up. Oh, yeah, it was an edge though.
Yeah, he got an edge. It's quite difficult sometimes when there's a lot of noise in the background as well, isn't it? If it's a thin, faint edge.
Well, it wasn't that thin. Anyway, let's send him off. Well, we got the first wicket. Under 12 and a half.
Just give us a signal, Bear, when it's on and off.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. you
Sorry.
got to guess.
Don't want to talk over you. We can't hear this jingle sometimes.
Yeah, I know. It's
We
problem
can
with
talk over the jingle.
Well, the jingle play costs £116 a quarter. I might have another.
Well, I don't mean over the whole of the jingle.
No. But I might have found a solution which actually plugs straight into Wirecast, which costs a fixed fee forever, which might just work just as well.
Oh, okay.
But then I'll have to teach everyone something new, which is
that's tough.
Gets rid of one computer though. Might need another screen though.
Yeah.
It's Jansen coming in for the third over. Nice ball, beat him for pace and cramped him for room there. The skipper Shantos plays it towards the mid-wicket area. No chance of run. New batsman Linton Das. He's been there forever. He's captained the side as well for some time. He's a wicket keeper.
He's only 29.
Yeah, but it seems like he's been there forever, Das.
He's got a jingle. Goes like this. Right, that's the end of the jingle.
Thank you. I wonder why we can't hear some of them, Bear.
It's to do with Zoom.
Jansen comes in. This one's on the leg stump and played towards the deep square leg, more towards the fine leg kind of an area, and the batters come back for 3.
I think Zoom basically compresses everything to fuck, and it also cuts stuff out below a certain level so it can get rid of the noise at your house. So if it doesn't go into the machine at that level, which some of these jingles are all over the place, then it never gets to your end.
That sounds so technical.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense to me.
Barry's very technical. Anyway,
He is.
it's critical to be technical, isn't it? In this aspect.
In this place, yes.
Someone's
Whenever
gotta be-
Tone's in here, something fucks up. It's unbelievable.
Jansen comes, this one, so nice delivery out on the off stump, probing away and a bit of swing away, and Litton does watches it carefully as it goes through to wicketkeeper Quinton de Kock. Is Quinton de Kock calling it quits after this tournament?
Maybe.
Or is he going to be around?
I think he's just going to become a T20 mercenary, isn't he?
Well, aren't South Africans T20 mercenaries now anyway?
Mostly.
Duplessis is one of them, but the thing is, he's really lost his bit of luster as well, hasn't he? He didn't really do much in the IPL. Shortish delivery, and he gives himself room there. I'm not sure whether
He
the
didn't get
umpires
wide.
would call him wide. Yes, that makes sense. He gave himself room towards the offside, and the ball sails over his over to the wicketkeeper. No chance of a run. Impressive start by Janssen Bear. He's bowling well with himself.
Yeah.
Well, last time.
What I find fascinating is this pitch, which one of these groups has played an awful lot of games on. Right, they're going to go away from here. They're going to go to the West Indies. That one may be giving us a wide. That one is giving us a wide.
This one is, I think he was pushing his luck a little bit
Yeah.
more there, bowling the same thing on the second time in a row down the leg. But Das is trying to move away, give himself room there, and it's been called a wide. The batter's having a little mini conference
Yeah.
to figure out.
I mean, my point is, these guys go to somewhere like Guyana. I don't know where the
Well,
next.
Guyana's playing quite it's a slow score.
Well,
as well, aren't
yeah,
they?
but it's a spinner's track. It's not a fast bowler's track. Although actually, if you take pace off and bowl cutters, it's all right. But
Janssen bowls. This one's on a good length and it climbs. It climbs up right to the wicketkeeper there. Great delivery. Bit of a good length. A nice bounce.
Yeah,
steep
he has
bounce.
been bowling really well in this tournament, actually.
He lost his place in the IPL as well, didn't he? After
Despite the
making
moustache.
early entrance. Yes. It's a
he
tough
did
one
bowl
when you
like a
have one
drain in a couple of games out there, though. He bowled 111 ball over. I watched. It went for an awful lot of runs.
It was painful watch it was. Last ball of the, can he finish it strong? Outside the off stump, pushed into the covers, and a good throw back by Nokia, but cannot prevent a single, as that is the end of the third over. Bangladesh 13 for 1. Annie, what are we saying?
Yeah, we've got a few people now. So Steve Coates says, I think a South Africa victory is better for the Netherlands. Muttley von Eric says, Lennoxley, I prefer my pitches a little more mild, like a Korma. Kieran Roseblade says, Muttley not fired out of the arse like a Vindaloo. And Nick Vicker says, hi everyone, entertaining game with an elite team of Bear, Annie and Bennett on comms. Well, yeah. Bangladesh need to make sure they get the runs, no need to go crazy, and then they're topping this group. And Stephen Kelp says, do the pitches come with rice cooked in already, like a biryani?
Wow, they've all woken up. Please keep telling us what you think. New bowler Bartman opens the bowling with a welcome shot by Najmal Shanto, the skipper. Comes dancing down the track and he lofts this hard and high onto the long on, and away she goes right into the skies, into the stands, and that is the first 6 of the innings.
Bowled by this guy.
Everybody, if you can, do the Bartman. Shake your body, turn it out if you can, man. Front to the back, to the side, if she can. Everybody in the house, do the Bartman.
It's the Bartman.
It's the Bartman. He's been welcome. Oh, that's a good delivery. And as you can imagine, that kept very, very low. And Shantos has seen one of this in the previous over too. Equal to the task. Goes on bended knee, crouching, and make sure the ball doesn't get in through bats and pad.
Yeah, he does well to keep that out, doesn't he?
Did really well there. Especially after climbing onto the other one. The one before. So good comeback by Bartman. Equally well batted by this Bangladeshi skipper. What can he do? Can he keep his side intact here? This is over pitch, driven straight to the mid off field and no chance of a run. Bartman had a reasonable outing, didn't he, the last few games? Something about him, guys.
Well, again, this pitch makes bowlers look good. Which I'm sure
you want to bowl on it, don't you?
No, it's not spinner's track. I think it's a paceman's track.
You want to go to Guyana?
Yes, that would suit me fine.
Bartman comes in right up. Over here he is. This is a good delivery.
Oh,
there is a bit of confusion as he pushed it into the covers, and they've started off running the skipper onto the other side, but Lytton Das wasn't interested, turned him back, and the fielder there unable to. Was he out or no?
No. The fielder's stupid. I don't know why, but the fielder didn't actually pick it up.
They could have actually run it.
He lost the ball.
They could have actually run it, but it was a crazy run as well.
And if the fielder had actually bent down and picked it up rather than dummied it, I think he was just more interested in not giving them a run, but there was an opportunity there.
Bartman bowls. This is driven with Swami quite powerfully towards the mid-off area. No chance to run. Just describe what happened earlier. The earlier ball. Sorry, the feed was not coming through properly for us to describe that. The ball was driven to the covers, not with much power or conviction, and Najmul Santos took off and was almost 3/4 of the pitch, but dummy there by the fielder, and unfortunately didn't pick up, but he wanted the fielder behind him to pick up. Gave himself enough, the batter had enough time to go back to the crease. A possible opportunity there gone, begging a good line and length on this occasion. So bad ball to start off the over, or else the next 5 really good deliveries by Bartman for 6 runs in that over. At the end of over number 4, 19 for 1, Luton Das on 0 without troubling the scorers. 4 balls faced. Najmal Santos 9 off 11. Annie.
Wrong on Twitter says, I think the objective of any team chasing would be to score more runs than the opposition.
Well,
no
obviously.
no need to rush. Fair played.
Wow,
Fair play
that's
award. Walking, give us the trophy. There you are. I don't think there's anything. No, there's nothing more. Nick Vickers is just on YouTube replying to Stephen Celt saying, knowing the ICC, you'll have to buy the rice separately with his Birani.
Well, yeah, you probably would.
This is going to be the last ball of this stint. This is a bit of an ugly looking hike by Lytton Das. He's trying very hard to get himself out, but not successful. So outside the leg stump, and he gives himself room and hikes this one. Quite ugly looking shot.
That was horrible.
Agricultural
Yeah,
shot.
really.
Not for a decent test opener that he is, and been in the side for a long time. Unsure of his game. Panic. 5 balls faced. Not off the mark. Perhaps some kind of uncertainty coming into his head. And
He's obviously not listening to Farong, is he?
As Jansen bowls. This one's a bit of a shorter length. He tries to give himself room to play on the onside and hits him high on his pad, and no chance of run.
This is what's happening with some of the batters. If they're trying too hard, and this is what happened in quite a lot of the games. They suddenly find they're not scoring, so they're trying too hard.
It's about the timing as well. No? Sometimes you need to get the suss of the wicket. Can you imagine Klaasen batting the way he did and getting out the way he did with David Miller? So when you watch the game, these guys are 2 of the most destructive batters in the whole wide world. You know, and if they're batting like that, you just got to have some sense, isn't it? Just
You got to have a sense that the wicket is doing enough, isn't it? You know, to
don't
travel
just
the
try and
batsman.
hoik it out the ground all the time.
Exactly. He's faced almost an over without opening his account. Lytton Das, and this one short, but he gets it this time. Short and pulled away to no man's land into the deep square leg area for a welcome boundary to open his account. 19 for 1.
Oh well, 23 for 1 after 5 though.
Sorry, 23 for 1. Yes.
It's not 5 and over, is it?
Gone yet. No, it's not 5 gone yet. We're in the 5th over. Jansen bowled really well. Prior to this, a shortish ball, and Lytton Das finally managed to get back on ball and gets this away for a boundary. So 23 for 1. Jansen. It's got 3 more balls to go in this over. This one's over pitched, nudged away towards the vacant square leg area. Towards the fine leg area, and the batters rotate the strike. Lytton Das moves up to 5. The skipper Santos, Najmul Hussain Santos, is an striker on 9. He's batted confidently for his side, played away some good deliveries, and also had some nice shots earlier on. The other opener was out earlier on, bowled by Rabada after hitting 2 consecutive 4s. 114 the victory target, just over 5 runs to gather to gain victory here. Bangladesh, important game here. This one short of a good length, driven by skipper Santos straight back to the ball. Good tight bowling bear here by the Bangladesh.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. 110 ain't a bad score here.
So the moment just around 5 runs.
What I want to know, Bear, is what you bet.
Well, I went under 23.5 or 21.5 for the fall of the second wicket, and I didn't make it. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for another wicket to fall, and then I'll start again.
Last ball of this over, and this thing here, this is short. He ducks underneath it, but the ball never went over. He said it was on this outside the off stump, but kept rather low. And that is the end of the 5th over. Bangladesh chasing a victory target to 114 or 24 for 1 at the end of over number 5. It's time for a change.
It is indeed. We are having, who is coming on? Al's coming on with Messers, and Towid is coming back.
Thank
Hey,
you.
guys,
Bye-bye, Annie. Thanks.
Hello. Well, just to
Cheers now.
say, and I never ever say this, we're up to date on all social
Ooh.
media. Oh, God.
What have you done with Annie?
I'm off now.
And just to
Cheers,
let
guys.
everyone know, I'm looking after a rather fractious 1-year-old baby, so I might be interrupted, but we'll see
Okay.
how we go.
We'll see how we go. Over number 6, Rabada comes in, chipped over the infield. Relatively risk-free shot. And that's going to go for 2. Das was the player, just chipped it over point, not really threatening the boundary, and that'll take the score to 26 for 1.
Yeah, he played a good knock in the last game against Sri Lanka, about a runnable 30 odd, so
Well, a runnable-
be hoping for the same.
Yeah, a runnable 30 here would be
It'd be very handy.
Well, this one back of the length, and it hits Das on the upper thigh as he attempted to work it towards the leg side field. That'll be no run.
But I would like to see Bangladesh approach this differently to how they approached the Sri Lanka chase. They kind of crawled over the line in that game. I'd like to see them do a lot more in this first 10.
I think we saw yesterday, didn't we, that a sense that there was just too much pressure in the second half of the innings, as this is tucked relatively easily to mid-wicket for a single.
Yeah, I think taking the game deep doesn't really work in sort of low-scoring games of this kind.
It does just prolong the pressure, and it only takes a small shift in momentum.
It depends to a certain extent on the
six-run short.
the ability of your lower order as well, obviously.
Well, that's true. Rabada's coming around the wicket this time. Najmal tries to just dab it down towards third man. Fielded at backward point no run.
Apologies for the background sound effects. I'm not sure if they're being picked up. But,
No,
you're doing more than okay.
well, his mum's due home any minute, so yeah.
Hey, listen,
yeah.
We're,
how long have you accepted that?
We've been we've been waiting for the record to be broken for the youngest commentator, and I think that might just do it. Rabada in again. This again, the attempted dab down towards third man. This time successful. Another single. So 4 off 5 balls in this over, which Bangladesh won't mind too much at all.
Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, 1 ball left in this power play, 30 odd for 1. Like to obviously seen a few more runs on the board, I guess.
Certainly, what Bear was talking about, maybe the flurry of early wickets hasn't materialised. That has been taken an inside edge off Das's bat, just misses the stumps, fielded down at fine leg, well fielded, just limits the damage down to a single. So that will be 5 off the over, and at the end of the power play, chasing 114, Bangladesh at 29 for 1. Jez, are you on socials or did
Can you hear me
have
at the
it?
moment?
I can.
Oh, good. My internet's been shit. My own internet's cut out completely. I'm currently tethered to my phone. Varong says Lytton Das, the Johnny Bairstow of Bangladesh. That's deep condemnation at the moment.
Does that make Johnny
Bairstow
the Lytton Das of England?
Yeah, I guess it cuts both ways, doesn't
it?
He hasn't exactly been filling his boots recently, put it like that. Except when he's been at the buffet.
Well, our first non-power play over is going to be spin, and it's going to be this man who's going to bowl it.
There's a bowler there from South Africa. Started out bowling pace, but he made the switch.
This is a loopy full delivery, and it's gone. Tried to cut away to extra cover, and that has gone gleefully straight into extra cover's hands. And it seemed an age to get there, but Das has just found the fielder, and it's 29 for 2.
Yeah, a bit of a... Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, it's got a reputation for falling to rather sort of softish dismissals.
He had to get his legs out of the way. Almost a Yorker length delivery, and waist high, gleefully taken by Miller. So Letting Das has to go.
Oh. Yes. I'm surprised, to be honest, that it took as long as this for South Africa to get the second wicket of Bangladesh.
So,
there's a
crucial
certain
question.
inevitability.
As Shakib Al Hassan comes to the wicket, has Bear gone under? Yes, he has.
Yes.
The game can continue.
Do you know what Shakib Al Hassan has in common with Rohit Sharma?
This ball is swept down towards fine leg.
They played in every single T20 World Cup, I think.
And there'll be a single. Yeah. Bear, is the weather bad where you are? Because we've lost the internet signal. Bear with me a second, folks, while we try to...
It's about to start chucking it down in South London, I'd say.
Yeah,
that might be what the problem is.
So we're guessing as to what's going on.
Oh, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, but Shakib coming in at number 4. Again, I'd like to see Bangladesh kind of mix up the batting order a bit, switch it up a bit. I don't think sort of Shakib. Well, you know what you're going to get from him, battle runner ball. But I'd like to see someone with a bit more intent coming in, really. So did Ridoy in the last game.
Third ball of the over. Maharaj bowling to Shanta. Ball angled into the offside field, but there's no run.
Where have you got it on, Al?
I'm reading ESPN Crick Info.
Okay, I've got it on my betting app, which is quite handy. Next ball's punched out to deep cover.
Let me see if I can't log into that same betting app.
Take over when if you can.
Yeah, you just.
32 for 4 now, Bangladeshis.
32 for 2.
2, sorry, yeah. There's a weird bar at the bottom of the screen. Down the track comes Shakib and drills it up to long off, and it'll just be a single. God, this is really annoying. Yeah, it's pissing it down in South London.
Right, I've got it.
Okay, I'm going to hand over.
Maharaj in. That's reverse swept by Shanto, I think. That's going to go down towards the boundary. There'll be a single. That's the end of the 7th over. Apologies for the slight delay. Bangladesh are 35 for 2, chasing 114.
So things are actually quite quiet on socials at the moment after a fairly intense period, unless my internet's still messing me up. Oh, Brown Barish has just retweeted something from Peter De La Pena, who's, I think it's fair to say, the acknowledged expert with relation to associate nations. He says there's a new paper sign that's been taped to the Premium Club lounge entrance, which is located between both sets of media box level. I guess certain people didn't like certain photos which appeared over last week. So, okay, everyone watching on TV can see how empty it is. And it's designed to try and hide the fact that there's absolutely nobody sitting in there.
Okay, so the first ball of the 8th over is going to be bowled by Norcher. I can see Bear's not there to do a jingle. Played just behind square on the leg side by Shaki. He'll take a single.
Well, the good news is the mum's arrived, so you have my undivided attention.
Okay. Seems like the it's only selected. There we go. We have a full screen. Norcher in, defended by Nigel. Fielded by the bowler.
Yeah, I think I was saying a bit earlier, sort of Shakib, I can understand why they've put him in number 4 to kind of shore things up. He's probably going to score at a runner ball. But as I was saying earlier, I'd like kind of this game to be done kind of inside the first 10-15 overs. So yeah, I would like to have seen someone like Ridoy coming in, scored 40 off 20 against Sri Lanka and went a long way to winning that game for Bangladesh.
Archer coming in again, sort of speared in towards the pads, glided down towards hind leg. There'll be a single. 2 singles off this first 3 balls of the 8th over. 37 for 2 was the total. 114 is the target.
Yeah, the seems like the middle over squeeze is well and truly on.
Yeah, it's as if with the life going out of the ball,
Short pitch delivery that is taken the top edge, and it's spooned up to extra cover. Miller will take the catch again. Shakib has to go for 3, and this is a game now. 37 for 3 in the 8th over.
Yeah, you can
I'm a loser.
What were you saying, Talbot?
Yeah, you could kind of see that happening, couldn't you? With not an awful lot of runs coming off the bat. Shakib trying to make something happen, but he's not been in the best of form of late, and yeah, he's got to go. And I think we're kind of entering the crucial phase of the game really for Bangladesh. So I'd expect Tawhid Ridoy to be in next, and then you've got Mahmudullah Riyad to come after him, I'd say, and then a bit of an untested batter in Jakir Ali. So yeah, after that, so really I'd say another 2 wickets, and the game's really South Africa's.
I got my floppy-hatted South Africans mixed up. That was Marker and took the catch rather than Miller. Apologies, but it is going to be Tawhid Ridoy who's going to come in at number 5. Launch it in onto the hip of the new batsman, and that will be turned away to long leg. They think about 2, but then think better of it as the ball comes spearing in. Oh, and there's uncharacteristic, terrible fielding, no backing up at all as the ball comes in, and they were able to take 2 overthrows. So the single comes in, De Kock fails to field. And the upshot of that is that it's... Oh, sorry, I thought it was 2 overthrows, just merely 1. They're saying it's 2 runs. I thought it was 3.
I think it was a single plus the 1 overthrow, was it?
Yeah,
But,
maybe they thought better of the second overthrow.
Yeah, Bangladesh will be happy with those buzzers.
Don't normally see that from a South African outfit.
No, not at all.
Last ball of this over. And that is again onto the hip, this time of Najmal. Well, it was 3 they took. They've just corrected the. I did see them. I did see 3. I wasn't going crazy. Took the outside edge of Najmal's bat. And it squirts into the offside field. There'll be no run, and it's 40 for 3 at the end of the over.
Yeah, just having another quick look at that wicket. Shakib really in no position at all to play that short ball.
On YouTube, Stephen Kelk says this Dutch fan loves that wicket. Well, I mean, Netherlands clearly have some prospect of going forward if Bangladesh are beaten here. It will depend on Netherlands playing really well in the other games, but that doesn't. You can't rule that out.
Maharaj in for the first ball of the 9th over, and that squares up.
No, I think. Well, Netherlands still have to play Bangladesh, and I think that's probably going to be the crunch game in this group.
Yeah.
Goy takes a step towards the leg and smears this over long on, just over long on, and that goes for 6 runs.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent 6 from Ridoy. He hit Hasaranga for 3 6s in a row in the last game. So
well, this sort of low-scoring game, 3 6s in a row would make a big difference, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and it did in that run chase. So yeah, if he clearly has a liking for spin, so yeah, if he can get after Maharaj, put a bit of a dent into this chase.
Looking at the plasters all over Maharaj's fingers.
Yeah.
He's in again. This one pitches on off, squares up the batsman, and there's going to be more overthrows. The ball only went maybe 15-20 yards, an attempt at a run out, maybe panicking maybe because of the small total, and that will be 2 to the score. And Bangladesh have got South Africa at it.
Like you say, in such a low scoring game, these overthrows could end up being absolutely crucial. I mean, the shot at the stumps there, the man was well in.
It certainly was. Good. This ball played with no real footwork to mid-wicket, no run. 48 for 3 with 1 ball left in the 9th over. Just at about the run rate required. This one will be just tapped to backward square leg. De Kock will run and field, but they'll take a single, and at the end of the 9th over, it's 49 for 3.
Farong says Johnny Duss goes for a strike rate of 69. That's actually even worse than Johnny Bairstow did the other day, I think, isn't it? Not much worse. Wanda Taka. I don't know what that means. No Kronya bingo. How about Messengers bingo? Oh, we're off again.
So, last ball of the over is played back to the bowler. No run. 49 for 3 at the end of the 9th.
Sorry, Al, I thought we were at the end of the over.
I thought we were at the end of the over as well.
So did I.
Collective delusion.
Well, it's just being this far through the tournament. If there's a ball being bowled, we'll just commentate on it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You never know what's going to be going on. I love there's a shot across the parkland from the ground with these wonderful Simpsons-like clouds. It looks like something straight out of the Simpsons as far as I'm concerned. I expect Bart's face to appear at any moment.
Well, we've got the Bart man, haven't we, to bowl quite soon.
The Bart man might bowl later, but it's going to be Nortje who's going to bowl the 10th over. This is edged. It falls short of Janssen. Quite having. Why would you have a 6'9" slip? I was beyond me, but it falls short of him.
Well, bigger wingspan, and it's a long way down, but he also can reach a lot further. I mean, you think of Cameron Green; he's a fantastic gully fielder. He covers 2 spots, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a genuine edge, wasn't it? But fell well short, which probably indicates a slowness in this pitch.
Orchard in full, just outside off stump, defended by Hrudoy.
Oh no, that's good. Because you're not actually disappearing.
Had a change at the end of this over.
Yeah, I think we're just having a look at Hrudoy's 40 off 20 against Sri Lanka. Marvellous six over
blows.
extra. 6 over extra cover off Hasaranga was a real highlight.
Yes. Launch it in again. Again, just defended outside the off stump. And there'll be no run there. So
Yeah, I said it earlier. I sense this is the key partnership, really. Only, I'd say, still got Marmadullah to come in next, but these two, I'd say, really do hold the key.
halfway through the 10th over, Norchi just adjusting his run-up. He's got figures of 1 for 5.
See, Nokia sporting a moustache. Is that? I don't think that's always been the case with him, has it?
Probably a
No,
lucky
it's not
tournament.
very becoming in my view.
That is short, well fended off by everybody. Down towards long leg, take a single. 50 is up for Bangladesh. 2 balls short of the 10th over.
Yeah, I think that deserves a ripple of applause.
A polite golf clap, if nothing else.
Yeah, good support in actually for Bangladesh. Actually, they get good support wherever they play throughout the world.
Yes, yeah, it's a very big crowd in the tall stands, isn't it? You must get a nosebleed up the top of this one.
Buffeted by the wind as well. As this is short, attempted pull shot that's been top edged, and that has been taken. Markram takes the catch. Running from mid-wicket to square leg, takes the catch comfortably. We said it would be a important partnership, and it's over. 50 for 4.
Fuck off! Just fuck off!
Hey, James.
That's exactly how I feel, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was not a dissimilar shot or dismissal to Shakib's. He was, again, in no real sort of position to play that short ball. And kind of skews the top edge.
Yeah. The pace of Nokia's is done for Shante. 14 off 23 deliveries. And shall we jingle up the new batsman?
Mama Dilla, here I go again. My, yet another 100.
Well, no need for 100, but a reassuring 25 might do the trick, I think.
It certainly would, yeah. He seems to save his best for ICC tournaments for World Cup, so yeah,
You're sticking your neck out there, Towid.
Well, yeah, I mean, he scored 1 or 2 hundreds in the 50 over World Cup last year, but yeah, a lot resting on his shoulders and Hrudoy as well at the other end.
Well, 1 ball left of our time together. Lovely to see, gents. As that is a short pitch delivery. That's probably going to be a wide. As much on down the leg side as anything else. I don't think it is going to be called a wide. And the umpire's just explaining why to the batsman, who looks a bit bemused and befuddled. So that's it. 10 overs in the books. 50 for 4. We're going to have a bit of a change around.
Can I quote Annie Chave to you, Al, and say
Yeah, of course.
we're all up to date?
That's fabulous.
I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. James, you're going to slide seamlessly into the central missionary position.
In the
and Bennett's going to rejoin us on summarising.
Yeah, Bear is just here doing the necessary to release Bennett from his cage. How are you feeling about this at the moment, Al? What do you reckon?
Well, I think that the South Africans might do this.
Yeah.
I agree completely with what Toward was saying, which was it was all about what the state of play would be at the fall of the fourth wicket. And I think if they'd have got to maybe 65, 70, I think they might have had enough maybe to kind of get over the line. But losing that wicket quite so almost immediately, I think has probably put South Africans back in the drive, or maybe in the driving seat for the first time. But no more than say 55, 45.
Yeah, I think they've got closer, haven't they? What, Bennett? How about you? How are you feeling about this match now? At one stage, it seemed like it was almost 5% to 95%. It feels a bit more even now.
Hello there. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, listeners. Well, I think the game is evenly poised at the moment. It's evenly poised. The next 3 to 5 overs will hold the key. For South Africa, wickets is the key factor. And Bangladesh, I would say wickets as well. They want to keep the wickets as long as they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing they can learn, can't they, from the South African innings, is that Miller and Klaasen played long. You know, if you look at Miller's strike rate, it was bizarrely low for a man of his ferocity.
Indeed, fully agreed.
So who do you think is going to be able to get Bangladesh over the line here? Are they looking at one key player who goes through to the end?
I think James Mahmudullah has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
He's been a former Bangladesh captain. He's been there forever. He's very experienced, and the reason why he's batting in that position is to sort of hold that middle order together. And this boy Hidroy, he can hit the long ball too. He's aggressive. So if they play around each other,
yes.
If Mahmudullah rotates the strike, and this guy Hidroy deposits the loose balls away, and they take over by over the next 5 overs. If they say, look here, we're going to be there at the wicket, put the loose ball away, and make sure we get 5-6 runs and over, that will take them through.
Well, we're off again here, and there's an aborted run that is almost taken, but that isn't quite taken. Win predictor is telling us officially it's 54-46. In South Africa's favour, maybe, but that's what we've been discussing. But yes, I think that makes absolute sense to me, Bennett. You have a biffer and an erdler, and Ridoy certainly is the biffer and can hit it out of the ground if necessary. As the ball goes, is cuffed outside to just in front of square, comes back in. There's a single there to Ridoy, so not quite living up to his billing. And what about Mahmudullah? So we're expecting just a canny, smart innings from him then.
Yes, if Bangladesh, because see the others after them are not experienced. And I think the key here is experience. I mean, if you look at Klaasen and David Miller is he's a veteran. He's a veteran campaigner. And Klaasen has a lot of T20 experience now, and they if at all, these two boys are probably sorry, go ahead.
No, absolutely. So Bartman came in again there. Mahmudullah just played it down the track, but for no run. Go on, carry on, Barrett.
And these two boys, James, they're probably the two of the hardest hitters of the cricket ball in the international circuit in today's climate. But they read the pitch well, and they wanted to bat long, and they trusted their ability to hit. And it didn't matter, but they got out with 3 or 4 overs left. Still, they had wickets in hand.
Well, this time Bartman goes short. Mahmudullah advances down the track and ends up kind of late cutting it high up near his head, down for one of these. I think that was kind of good adaptation to the delivery, right?
It was indeed. It was. I mean, in this context, you don't really have to worry how the runs come, right? As long as it runs on the board.
Yeah, and 4 runs is a precious commodity on a pitch like this.
Indeed. I mean, can you imagine, like, looking at some of the IPL games to now, how things have changed? Sorry.
No, Bartman was in again there. It's squirted out backwards by Mahmudullah this time. They've managed to scamper through for a couple there, like young poppies. So we've got 7 off this over so far. So this kind of thing is ticking along quite nicely, and that's what we're sort of saying, aren't we? That we just need that scoreboard just ticking along. The runs will come.
And it's just being sensible as well, James. I mean, if you've got a 4 now, how many 7 runs you got off this over? So, you know what, lose this wicket in the last ball? Just a single, just being, not playing well within yourself.
Well, Bartman comes into that again, much fuller length this time. Amadullah drives it past him, but it is fielded for no run. So at the end of the 11th over, Bangladesh are on 57 for 4. Al, is there anything happening in the Twitterverse?
Not that I can see on. I'm just going to go on to X, but there's nothing on YouTube. Nothing that I've seen updated, apart from someone called Jeremy Henderson. Never heard of him. The ghost of James is walking back.
Yes, by popular request, I've come back fighting against the green screen, so that I either look slightly odd or that I've lost a lot of weight during the break. Thank you. I like. No, listen. I mean, I think the first is certainly true. As the next over begins now, no run off it. It's forced forward by Ridoy. The biffer this time just goes for nothing. But he's busy. He's busy at the crease, isn't it? You can see him ticking. He wants something to happen here.
Nope. Is that a no ball?
No, it's a no ball.
Oh.
Now we said he wanted something to happen, so the Disco Butcher, which in this case is Richard Illingworth, has signalled a no ball, which means that we're going to get a free hit now. So
that's a gold mine.
Let us see. Yeah, it's the line belongs to the umpire, lest we forget, and the back heel is firmly on the line. So the heavily moustached Norkia will have to come in again, hopefully in a slightly more sensible way, as he prepares himself and then cools off his run at the last minute. Maybe his moustache was toppling him over slightly too much, but he gathers his thoughts and gathers the ball. That straight armed run comes through again. It's on the offside and it's slapped forward down the ground just for a single. Didn't get hold of it that time, Ridoy. This is a difficult pitch to time anything on.
It is a very difficult pitch to get the figure of what the pace of the pitch is. It keeps changing, deteriorating with time. Tough call.
Yeah, it's astonishing. But a man of Norkia's pace, you would think would make things more difficult on this pitch. And he's done very well this tournament so far, hasn't he?
Second highest wicket taker.
Yeah. He comes in again. This time it's pitched up a little bit more. Mamadullah gets half cut up by it, but manages to force it out onto the leg side for no run. Yes, because he had a bit of a fallow period, hadn't he, before that? But it's good to see him coming back. He hadn't really come back from... Wasn't he injured earlier in the year?
He was injured for a bit and he was out of the scene. But the thing is, South Africa keeps producing a battery of fast bowlers that it's quite difficult. Whether you're injured or not, sometimes you got to keep playing because at the cost of losing your plays.
Yes, exactly.
It's a bit like Pakistan, right? They unearth fast bowlers from the streets, it seems.
It comes in again, good high speed again. He just manages to barrel it away onto the leg side for no run. He's over 90 miles an hour now here, Norkia. I have a theory that he's grown this moustache just to mock Marco Jansen. Marco Jansen has a hesitant caterpillar above his lip. But this is the full sporran. It really is from Norkia. As impressive as his bowling has been.
4 for 7, James, versus Sri Lanka.
Absolutely astonishing.
4 overs.
Comes in again here. And again, he's essentially the same delivery 3 times. Slightly on the leg, on the hip, tucked away, but there is no run.
I mean, according to the speed gun, that's 94.7 miles an hour.
I mean,
I was going to mention that the batsman looks kind of jumpy, but at 94.7 miles an hour into the hip, I'd be pretty jumpy too.
Yes, he's like a flea on a hot plate at the moment. But yeah, it's perfectly understandable because it's serious wheels from Norkia at the moment. He comes in for his 5th delivery and he attempts to just glance that down to third. He achieves his aim, but he is so lucky not to get caught out by the slip. But necessarily he has got a 4.
Give it to me 1 time. Give it to me 2 times. Give it to me 3 times. Yeah. Give it to me 4 times.
Was that through his hands?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jansen's a tall guy and he's reaching for it, but to my mind, that should be taken.
Yeah, well, the standards of South African fielding and the standards of their catching in the previous matches, you'd have to say that should be taken. Let's see if it's going to be a valuable miss here. Again, it's on the hip. Again, it is tucked round, but behind square this time, just for a single. So at the end of the 12th over, Bangladesh have processed on to 64 for 4. Anything more happening in the social verse?
Yep, Daniel Keevy. Something's rotten in the state of Gorilla. He thinks maybe Hendo forgot his lunch in the fridge. You are bringing out Shakespearean quotes. Mayat's got a question for us all. With the slow death of ODIs, do you think that the 2031 ODI World Cup will be the last one, and then from then on we'll just have tests and T20s?
That is a great question. Bennett, what views have you got on that? Are we going to see the death knell for 50 over cricket in the international game?
Well, it's slowly but surely coming there, isn't it? It's a matter of time. I firmly believe it will happen, but the timing, it'll all depend on how the players approach this. Because, I mean, as more and more players start to sort of focus on the T20s, we may see that happening. It's based on that. That's my view, James.
Rabada is back in, forced down the ground, but for no run there. And an interesting fact that has come up is that at the end of 12 overs, South Africa was 64 for 4. At the end of 12 overs, Bangladesh are 64 for 4. So it's absolutely even Stevens at the moment. But let's not forget there was quite a big stand at that point from South Africa, but the same could happen here from Bangladesh as it squirted out onto the offside for just a single. They thought about the second, but they didn't come back for it. It's fielded by Stubbs out in the deep, who with his cap on now looks more with his flowing mullet like an Australian surfer than the disenchanted goth that we had when he was batting. He's cheered up a bit, maybe a bit like South Africa. They can sense something positive happening here. Ridoy is on strike, 15 from 14 deliveries as Rabada muscles his way to the wicket again. It's just turned away behind square by Ridoy just for a single. This in a way feels quite reminiscent of South Africa, doesn't it? Not just the score, but the fact that they're just keeping it ticking over.
It's a bit like what I was saying before, James. The important factor is the wickets, and because they
Yes.
know that between these two they can bring it home for them. So it's just not panicking, and I think Mahmudullah's presence there will certainly calm Ridoy there, because he's a youngster with like rush of blood. Mahmudullah, you see him talking from time to time.
And then Rabada comes in again played out onto the onside. So if you can imagine, it's always coming up hip height, and it's just being steered away onto the onside, either in front of or behind of square, as Bangladesh go on to 67 for 4.
I would love to see Markram do something really brave and bring an extra fielder into the circle.
Nice.
And try and cut off the single.
Yes, I think that's a great shout, because at the moment that's the get out of jail card every single delivery, isn't it? That's the thing that enables you to keep ticking it over. Without that, it would be interesting to see what they would do.
Because there's no real weak link in the bowling attack.
No.
So there's no one you can turn around and go, well, we've got 2 overs or 3 overs in that.
See, but also the key is you have to keep in mind that they only have 4 overs per person.
Well, you're never going to guess what's happened here. It's gone up a little higher this time, and again it's just steered backward of square, and another single is taken. And that is the end of the 13th over from Rabada, and it is 68 for 4. Again, anything happening in the social verse?
Yeah. Harris, these low-scoring thrillers are superb. The only high-scoring game was Australia versus England, and that was done early, thanks to some dodgy bowling choices.
Yeah.
Lennox Lear, no, I just started to really like 50 over matches. They can't die now.
There you go.
The answer to all the questions, though, is money.
Money. That is the answer to all the questions. But it is interesting, this, isn't it, with this tournament, because T20 tradition, I always think of it as it's like a Michael Bay film. It's explosions every 5 seconds. It's no real plot or anything like that. It's just pure dumb excitement. But these are more like Hitchcockian thrillers now. These are engaging one. Now I don't know if that's a good thing for us. I don't know if necessarily that's a good thing for your lighter cricket fan. But Maharaj now back into the attack. Ridoy backs away there to do something masculine and assertive, but ends up just dribbling it out into the offside.
Yeah, just a thought on the T20 side of things. I mean, I used to live in Canada, and I know how people in North America. I'll come to that in a second.
Yeah, Maharaj this time just steering it slightly onto the leg, but actually that benefits him quite well because Riddle gets into a bit of a tangle, no run.
There's a whole scope of audience there in those parts of the world. If they want to position cricket in those parts.
Again, pitches on the left, but a bit more turn this time from Maharaj, and Riddle is struggling to get him away.
If ICC is looking to sort of promote cricket in those parts, certainly T20 is the way forward, and there's a lot of audience there, isn't it, marketing-wise?
Maharaj comes in again. Oh no, we're looking at. Yes, we're looking at something quite magnificent, something quite stupendous from Riddle, something that we actually were imagining he would do a lot more of. I'm talking about a 6.
Oh, I say, champ, you're getting lip.
That was a pretty spectacular shot.
Yeah, lovely sort of slug sweep.
Slug sweep, absolutely.
On bended knee, and he knew exactly what he was doing. So this is why I was saying to you before. I mean, 1 or 2 shots like this in every 1 or 2 overs will take you home, I guess.
Well, absolutely. Well, the think tank is now in full effect for South Africa after that, because you're right, and I think actually that's something we can admire from Riddle here, is that it's easy to play up to the stereotype, isn't it, that if you're a biffer you biff, whereas actually he's picking his moment quite well here. He's playing sensibly between the big shots. Well, let's see if this continues now as Maharaj comes in again to follow up the 6 ball, turned into the leg side, but no run for Riddle. But I suppose the advantage is he's already scored the 6, so the pressure isn't on him anyway to do anything more.
And that's the key. Once you've got the 6 or the 4, it's just rotating the strike, making sure you don't lose a wicket.
Well, Maharaj comes in, completes his over. It's slashed out, cut out on the offside by Riddle this time. I imagine he's just going to get a single here, so to retain the strike, which is no bad thing. 14 overs have gone now, and Bangladesh are 75 for 4, going well now.
Brian in Brisbane, will the 100 take over from 50 over games? Double headers available for every 50 over match. Maybe.
Yeah, will the 100 still exist in 4 or 5 years, I suppose is a good question.
It depends on who buys the franchise.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And it depends on the conversations about converting it back to a T20 tournament after they do, I suppose. And I think the blast is the thing that might suffer most.
Yeah, it feels like there can only be one T20 tournament.
Right, now, let's get our, as the porn bot might say, let's get our 2 meters on. It's Janssen time. Back into the attack. Getting ready to come into Riddle. In the previous over, launched a massive 6. This time, more circumstantial. He tries to play it onto the leg, but I think just succeeds in hitting it into his pads. And I think that has hurt him slightly. He's squatting down now. Like I remember once seeing Gary Player do a talk where to flex, essentially, Gary Player squatted for the whole 15-minute talk to show that even though he was an old guy, he was still as fit as a butcher's dog, and that is what Riddle is doing at the moment. He's playering it, but I think that's actually through hurt rather than any machismo. This feels like a key over from Janssen. As he comes in again, it's good length, but it's just played sensibly by Riddle. A shot you would happily see in a Test match. What do we think? South Africa need a wicket quite soon here.
Well, they've got no margin for error.
Yeah.
While they're going at sort of 5.5 and over. It's only going to take one large Bangladesh over to take the game away from them, really.
Yeah.
Whereas
exactly, Alan. The only way South Africa can come back into this game is by taking wickets, not by controlling the runs.
Well, here comes Janssen trying to do this, but the good tip for him is you don't necessarily get wickets if you bowl a wide, which I will now not be able to find. Yeah, extras. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me, good people. So it's a funny one. Janssen's figures are exceptionally good. He's bowled 3.2 overs for 11 runs. The economy is astonishing, but there's a certain zero where you might want to see a 1 or 2. And just to contextualise this, we keep talking about the Bangladesh score, but they need 38 runs now. Janssen in once more. driven straight down the ground. A lovely classical looking shot, which has a very, very nice result for Ridoy.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
That's nice, isn't it, from Ridoy? Confident.
About as straight as you can get.
About as straight as you can get, absolutely. And I think that point you were making, Bennett, is that you see now where these two are getting up to. Their strike rate's 100 and above. They've paid their dues, and now hopefully we can just see this gentle acceleration. There's no need to go mad. Only need 34 now from 33 balls. Janssen in once more. Oh, just almost a wide again, but it's tucked off his legs this time by Ridoy. Oh, it's not giving us a leg bye actually this time. Well, the Bangladeshi fans don't care. I'm slightly concerned with the temporary nature of the stands, the amount of bouncing that the Bangladesh fans are doing up and down. I hope at some stage they don't all disappear under it. What are we thinking, Bennett? How do you think this is going to go to the 20th over?
I think it's most likely to go through to that level. And for me, it's Bangladesh win from here.
Yeah, well, the win predictor weirdly is still giving it to South Africa as Janssen comes in again. Again, it's that height that they've done it between hip and rib height that can just be steered off onto the leg side as it is done again. This happened quite a lot, hasn't it? It feels that's their game plan, but they need something a bit more than that.
All the way through the 50 over tournament, we all made reference to the fact that South Africa looked a very different side when they batted first and when they bowled.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
And they were programmed, shaped, moulded to chase stuff down. And it might feel the same way here, that they're not exactly bowling the way that you would want a team that's trying to protect a small total.
I think that's a great shout. I really do, and particularly after we were saying why did they bat first, as he comes in to complete the over. Again, it's the same line, and the result might even be two this time. No, they're staying at one. Janssen had to go and field his own bowling. Now I think we are due a change now because the 15th over has been completed, and Bangladesh are on 83 for 4, needing only 31 from 30 balls.
Well, I'll just read the next message and then I'll leave everything to you, James. Because the next message comes from Steve's How's the Bacon Bruce? And the question is, where is the sexy bear? And now that I've put that thought in all your minds, I will leave you in the tender loving arms of the sexy bear.
Why, thanks. Well, Rich, it's tight.
Tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. It's tight, Rich. It's tight. I've got money on South Africa. I got them at 6 to 4.
It actually, South Africa were exactly 1 run ahead at this stage with 5 to go, and they were just as Bangladesh are 4 wickets down.
Wow, this was when they lost Miller and Klassen, though, wasn't it? As that one is just prodded out from right in front of his pads, thick outside half of the bat, goes out to point. They'll get a single.
And the other thing we have to bear in mind is that South Africa had a terrible so-called slog at the end. I mean, Maharaj couldn't get bat on ball. You have to think Bangladesh will make something more out of their last couple of overs if they don't lose a flurry of wickets.
Exactly that. Wickets make the difference here. South Africa can get a breakthrough because it's really difficult to get in when the ball's older on this wicket.
But I think they've been bowling just the wrong line so far, South Africa. They've been bowling an easy line for them. They can just constantly tuck it off their hips. I think they just need to...
Yeah, they need a little bit more across, don't they? More sort of middle and off, middle. Sort of almost, not quite a test match line, but not far off it.
Yeah, that's what brought quite a few wickets up front for Bangladesh, didn't it?
Yeah. It's just difficult to play. You can't just swing through the line. Norkid's back in anyway, and it's played out into the offside. That'll be a single.
I'm also a fan of what Al was saying earlier. Maybe bring another couple of fielders up in a situation where they can do this in singles. You've got to force them to go over the top.
Exactly. I said this so many times when I was watching the World Cup, 2019 when I was on it. New Zealand were class at that because everyone in these competitions gets so it's so formulaic. Once we can put 5 fielders out, we put 5 fielders out. But actually, New Zealand in the World Cup in 2019, they weren't a side that were going to get 300. They were quite conservative with their batting, as that's forced the height down to third man for a single, just lets it run off his bat. So they would get a reasonable score that they thought they could defend. It might be 240 to 260, but they, after the power play 10 overs in that World Cup, they would always have an extra man inside the circle, generally behind square on the offside. For that run-off shot that people like Root and stuff like that just run it off, get the single every time it was blocked off. And they did it to India in the semi-final in that World Cup, and so nearly did it to England in the final as well. So there is something to be said for that, especially if you think it's a low-scoring game. That's full and it's slow. It's out to the offside. Oh, I thought it was going to be a bit aerial for a while, but it's a dot ball. 28 off 26.
Can I ask you both a question? Do you think if South Africa don't get a wicket from now, can they still win the match?
No.
No,
I think they need I think they need to get the wicket. They need to get a wicket.
I still think it'll be close. It will go down to the last couple of balls because you just can't start. You can't spank 3 sixes in an over. On
no, but like
even if you're in
a 6 and a 4 from here might even do it for them. You know what I mean? It's like, that's short, ducked underneath by Mamadona, through to the keeper, and there's no run.
Nortje doing what he does best.
Well, yeah, he's bloody quick, isn't he? I mean, the 2 batsmen, the 2 lefties Shaki was one of them, wasn't he? And who was the other one? I can't remember who it was. It was the captain, wasn't it? Shanto. I mean, they were in no position to play those shots. The ball was onto them way too quickly. Completely out of position.
He's been up to almost 95 miles an hour, hasn't he, in this
quick.
game? He's seriously rapid.
He had a shit IPL as well. Flat wickets. He was getting fucking tanked. Down the leg side. That should be a wide. It is a wide.
Do you think maybe this is like a recruitment drive then by the US T20 league to try and get more bowlers to come over by giving them these pitches? So like, fuck the IPL, I want to go over here.
Well, yeah, but there is something to be said for that. I mean, this is the thing. In the IPL, they had such short boundaries and the pitches would do fuck all. And so if the batsman swung and the ball didn't move, then they'd still get an edge and it would still fly, and it flies for 6, you know. Yeah. So almost being express pace was a complete hindrance. You know, that one's just played out to the offside, there's no run. Because it took so little to get it to the boundary in the IPL that if you had severe pace, if you got it slightly wrong or the batsman got slightly lucky, there was lots of runs to be out.
And more broadly speaking, the message needs to go out to young kids across the world that there is some reason to become a bowler.
Yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's true, because essentially what they've done to international bowlers is make them like the dad or the mom in the garden who bowls because it's boring so their kid can just smash the ball around.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. Mind you, I wish I had a dad or a mom in the garden. They live too far away. But it's the only way to get any good at batting, is to have someone to toss balls with you. And in the Austrian countryside, they're in short supply, let me tell you.
I can imagine. 27 or 21, how did the elections go for the Euros? Did the right-wing nutters win?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm more up to date on the cricket news.
Oh, okay.
I have to say.
Yeah, it's a far-right majority.
Yesterday, I did ask people in my village yesterday and was told they weren't allowed to. They had done the counting, but they weren't allowed to tell us till 11 o'clock because the Italians only vote after dinner.
That's amazing.
Of course they do. Well, the Bartman's back in. 27 required for 24 deliveries. 4 overs to get 27 runs. Should be doable. Played up towards mid-on. I'm on for a run-out as the next dismissal method.
I can see that. Now
happening. We're getting to the point where that definitely could happen. Yeah. We've got 4 overs to go, 26 runs. This is going to be a tight game. There could be a crazy run-out somewhere. So I'm in with a good chat. I've got 16 to 1 on that, which is pretty good odds. If it happens, it's gravy. Mamadou facing up. The Bartman is in. He's into his pads. He's going to get 4 by that. No, he's giving him. He's giving him. That's out. Oh, got to review that.
That's a big moment.
Oh, that's a huge moment. He's gone right across his stumps. It's come off his pads. He might well have gone far enough. I didn't even think about that when it hit it, but I thought it was going down leg side and he was helping it.
Generally, when the ball actually does end up going down leg side, and for 4, nogal, as we say in South Africa, you do think, yeah, that was going down leg.
Well, yeah, but you did go quite a long way across his stump, so I wasn't really looking at that. I just thought maybe he got a bit of bat on it. It was a standard shot. But have a look. Well, Bartman appealed and the umpire gave it out. I think it was a bit. That's a fucking howler. How's he giving that out?
That's not an out.
It's clipping at best.
Yeah, at best.
At best, it's just about hit him in line. Why was the umpire giving that out? That's fucking outrageous. I mean, he's gone a long way across, admittedly.
You just watch. The technology will probably go and make fools of all
well,
of them.
the technology might have that clipping leg stump, but I think that's fucking harsh.
It could be
if the umpire
umpire's
gave
review. Yeah,
that.
it could be
If it's umpire's call, that's really harsh on Mamadullah. I think that's missing. It's missing. Yeah, it's missing. That was a terrible fucking call for the umpire.
And more important for the game, it did go down for 4, did it not?
It did go down for 4, so it's 4
Although
leg
the
fire.
umpire had his finger up before the ball went across
Wow,
the
is that
basket,
it? Has he
so-
got some money in his pocket, one arse?
What are the legalities of that?
Yeah, exactly. That seemed a bit fucking dodgy to me.
I mean, was 4 ever signalled? Does it have to be signalled now?
It will be now, yeah.
And that feels like a crucial boundary.
Oh no! Surely they've not given the runs because the ball is dead at the point of the appeal.
I think they have.
Oh, that is outrageous.
That is outrageous.
That is outrageous. It's got to be 22 from 22. That one's full and it's played up towards long on.
So on that basis, you could appeal for anything.
Exactly. That's nonsense. Surely that's 4 runs. Come on.
Well, we deserve some luck with the score with 22 balls to go, going all the way back to the SCG in 1992.
Oh, what, on the fucking 28 of 1 or whatever it was?
I think it was 7 off 22 at some point, or 1 off, 22 or 21 balls back then. So, I don't feel very charitable when that number's involved. But yes, as a neutral, that was a shocker.
Well, that one's smashing it off, so that's a good shot. And that is going to get 4 more runs. Ooh, there could be there. That's 2 4s and an over. Well,
there's not one boy for me. I must have 2 or 3. I need 4.
Surely that should now be 17, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's in a game like this. That is a huge call to do that.
Massive call.
Imagine if Bangladesh end up not getting there by like 3 runs.
Yeah.
Well, if they smite a couple of cover drives like that,
it won't matter. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Well, the Bangladeshi fans in the crowd are very happy. 21 required from 20. And Bartman is in. Pads. Clipped out to mid wicket. They will get the single though.
Easy run there.
Yeah.
Off Bartman. The man from Oudtshoorn. I don't know if this has been discussed in earlier broadcasts, but it's a town famous for its ostriches.
No, it hasn't.
Ostrich? Is that Ostrich Farms?
As in Ostrich Farms.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Was he an ostrich farmer before he became a cricketer?
I'm not sure if his family was involved in any ostrich farming, but you're making me want an ostrich steak now.
Oh. That's driven back to the bowler and there is no run.
Should we do some socials?
Is that the end of the over?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I want to go on. Yeah, you get through
some
socials.
Okay. So Steve House the Bacon Bruce, who asked where the sexy bear is, saying loving these close games, so much better than the big scoring games. Does the panel agree? I think we all agree to that. Daniel Keevy picking me up here on saying you don't usually get a wicket on a wide. Does that mean you can be out on a wide sometimes? Well, you can be out on a wide sometimes, but I was obviously just being slightly silly. Steve Howes back again. Wunderbar. Hridoy showing what Rizwan should have done. And then Daniel Keevy coming back. Actually, the MCC says it's either run out, wicket stump, or field obstruction. Learnt something.
Who was the Wunderbar from again? Do we have another listener in my country?
We have. Hold on one second.
My country of residence.
My country. The one I've taken over.
The one I'm not allowed to vote in, yeah.
Rabada is in. Ooh, there's an appeal there. That's close. So that is given, and I think that is out.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Unless he's hit that. It seemed to keep a little bit low, but it's going on to hit middle and off, middle and leg. I think they're going to review it this time. I'm reading on Crick Info. The runs weren't given because the deflection went down the leg side and went for 4, and he was given out. But I mean, it's such a poor decision by the umpire that feels a little bit harsh. But this one,
controversial, yeah.
Yeah, it is
this
pretty
one also,
controversial.
I'm not as convinced, but it's got more of a chance than the last one did.
Don't you? I think that's more in line, and I think. Well, so, yeah, that's. I think that's.
Oh, it could be missing.
Could be top of leg stump. I think. What are these umpires on? Have they got money in the pocket? I'm just saying. They're going to get South Africa win or something.
I feel like it all hangs on this decision, to be honest.
It could well do.
Now makes it interesting.
Especially Hidroy. Oh, no, that's going down as well, isn't it?
It's above.
It's I think it's closer. Well. Yeah, he's not a tall man. He's very deep in his crease.
Yeah, it's probably height should be just about okay.
Yeah, height should just be okay. It's about line.
I think Rabada gets away with it.
Who are the umpires in this game?
One of them's Illingworth, and who's the other one? It's a Kiwi, isn't it?
The umpires are? Umpires, where are they? Michael Goff.
He's third umpire.
It's umpire's cool. Yeah, that looked more out. I mean, it's still maybe what you might say that's a harsh call. It's hitting quite a lot of the top of leg stump. Fair enough. It did look more out to me than the last one. The last one was plainly going down leg side. We'll give that an out then. Yeah, it's Richard Illingworth and Sam Nodjatski.
From where?
Isn't he a Kiwi?
No, he looks like he's an Australian.
Australian?
Yeah, Australian or a Kiwi. No, it's Kiwi actually. There's stars on the thing. It's got
sounded a lot like an Englishman trying to pronounce a South African name.
Yeah, well, you know, shh. Michael Goff is a TV umpire. And the reserve umpire is Paul Rifle. And Ranjan Madugali is the match referee.
Ridoy did well there, though, didn't he?
He did, and that could be enough. 20 or 17. No, it's tight. I did say I put money on South Africa. I got them at 6-4. Still fancy they could strangle it here. 16 off 21. Mamadula is not going at a run a ball, and they need more than a run a ball. The new man is Jacker. We don't have a jingle for him. Roberto has lost it as he's coming to deliver anyway.
But this is another benefit of these low-scoring matches, isn't it? It's that it seems to be going one way, and just one action can then put it the other way.
This is it. A couple of boundaries changes the whole thing, doesn't it? I mean, 100%. Yes, it can do in a high-scoring game, but you've got to be up with a rate to get to the end of the high-scoring game. Whereas in a low-scoring game, things can change very quickly, and that makes it kind of more exciting. Especially Taylor and Biffers. That one is guided behind square, but.
And its difficult pitch just makes it fun all the way to the end in the sense that, you know, the tail end biffers that can maybe, the 8s and 9s who can clear the ropes in the IPL or whatever.
Precisely.
On this pitch, at this level, will not find that so easy. As we saw with Maharaj earlier. Who couldn't hit the ball even though it was patently clear where it was going to be bowled.
Yes.
Halfway through the over.
Exactly.
He still couldn't hit the ball.
Still couldn't hit it. But you've still got the chance that you can hit it, and only one of those has to come off for it to make the difference, you know what I mean? Just gives it a bit of fun. It's played square on the offside, out to point once more, and it's fielded. There's no run.
This is the benefit, isn't it, of the new batsman? He just can't get Rabada away.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. That's why wickets are really important. And Mamadula is the man now. He's 20 runs. He can score 3 sixes quite easy. He's Mamadula, for fuck's sake. He smash it out of the park. If he gets 2 sixes or 10, if Mamadula gets 10 off 2 balls at some point in the next 15 balls, that kind of should get them over the line, you'd have thought. That one's clipped up to mid-on. There's no run. There's a little bit of a misfield. They think about a run. It's not going to happen.
Talking of misfields, those couple of overthrows earlier from South Africa might still be crucial.
Could be. One of them was a 2 as well, wasn't it? 3 overthrows.
So, yeah.
This is turning into a very good over for South Africa.
And it just.
And we're going to have the last 2 are going to have to be Bartman and Maharaj, looking at the at who's bowled out.
Interesting. So Maharaj. Maharaj. I wouldn't want to bowl Maharaj to Mamadula. That one's driven up to mid-off. They're going to go for the run anyway. Oh, it's not a direct hit. But surely you don't want to be doing that, do you? No. You want Mamadula on strike for the first ball the next over. Unless he gets a single here, you've just wasted 4 balls and you're going to end up with a new guy facing at the other end. No one knows what Jacarani does. He's anomaly in at number 7, so presumably he can hit a ball. The pressure is on.
Ooh, yeah. Strong finish required now. Especially as it does look like we will have a spinner in one of the last 2 overs.
Well, yeah, but
Markram wants to do something.
What,
very
18
creative.
off 2 overs, 9 over. Tough ass from 2 overs on this pitch. Mamadou will get that single as he plays that out through mid-on. You might think about 2, but it's not. Over to you, James. I'm just going to go and use the little man's room.
Yeah, well, just a little bit discussion about the if it wasn't out, why didn't the runs get got? We're saying that's what me Ant going saying that's the way it goes. Umpire called it out, and therefore it's a dead ball.
I mean, the argument is that the fielder, had there been one, would have given up when he saw the finger go.
Yeah. No, I mean that's it. But Messi coming back. This is ridiculous. If the umpire hadn't given it out, the 4 leg byes would have counted. Totally unfair. I think we can agree on that because that was heading to the boundary anyway, wasn't it?
It's a really tricky one. I mean, an umpire's got to put the finger up at some point, and quite often it is actually out. Yeah, I mean, you could argue that the ball should be in and dead before umpire makes any decision on out or not. That's the only way to be consistent about it.
It's rather like the football ruling that the offside can only be called when the player actually gets the ball rather than the moment that he's offside. It's very frustrating as a fan, but maybe slightly
I find
fairer.
watching football frustrating from the very first whistle.
So that's just added to it. That's just really just like the cherry on top of it.
So who's bowling the 19th? Is it Maharaj? Can't be Maharaj, surely.
No, I think like a long runner.
It's Bartman. Down the track comes Mamadou, misses out on it, goes through to the keeper, no run.
This is the trouble now, isn't it? It's because now they're thinking 18 in their head. It's kind of dancing down the track moment rather than just carrying on playing like you've been playing.
Well, I think you have to. It's you've got 18 off it. You can't get singles to get 18 off 12 balls, can you? You've got to hit a boundary or 2 because you've got to assume that 1, 2 or 3 balls are going to be dot balls. So you've essentially got 9 balls or 8 balls to get 18 runs, which is over 2 a ball. So you're going to need boundaries. That one's worked into the leg side. He's going to call for 2. Surely. No, he can't get there.
But that's my point, is I think with smarter running and smarter thinking, they could still get there without taking masses of risks. Like off the first ball of that over to dance down the track rather than try and nurdle it away for a couple. I think he's a bit woolen-headed.
I don't know. I think you've got to trust your instinct.
Yeah.
I think clearly getting 6 and over is difficult here. So
it's true.
So nurdling doesn't help you. You've got to take a chance. I think they need 2 boundaries in this last 12 balls.
Yeah, and listen, I think they can get it, but I think they can get it by slightly altering how they've been playing rather than suddenly going into IPL mode.
Well, although it's T20. It's IPL mode all the way.
Not here, it's not. No. This is test. The T stands for test in this one.
Oh, but as Nasser Hussain was saying earlier, you've got to get ahead of the rate at some point.
Yeah,
a lot of teams on the same route as Pakistan the other day. It doesn't
exactly
get
that, but there's a big heave ho. It's into the leg side. Bartman is going to chase after his own. They're going to come back for 2, but he's going to let it go for 2. He's not going to. You realise they were going to get it. Yeah, it's true, and that's the problem. But therein lies the openers. I think you've got 2 or 3 wickets at the top to lose, and you have to go hard at the ball, and that's where you've got to get ahead of the rate, right?
Yeah,
and the problem is
the middle overs are going to be
and the problem is none of these top orders have got away because it's quite difficult. A lot of teams have lost 2, 3 wickets for 20 runs. Therefore, you are behind the rate. That's a big heave ho. He's going to slice it into the outfield. It's going to go out to deep cow. And it'll just be the 1 run.
But I still think this is. I guess the point I'm making is that yes, they've got to go for it, but at the moment it looks wild rather than controlled, and I think they still have to be controlled. The way they're playing those shots, they're just playing them without any balance at the moment. And I thought they're panicking.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of a panic. Of course, there's panic. There's a score. I mean, everyone thinks there's a score you should chase down, but clearly 110 to 130 on this wicket is competitive score.
Would be the highest successful chase at this ground in the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Bartman in. That's on the leg side. Oh, should have probably got 4. That was an opportunity. But Mamadula
well,
could
Markham
be.
will be saying that shouldn't have been one.
Yeah, exactly. That should have been the 4 that you were looking for. It was down on his legs and he clipped it around the corner, but he hit the man, which is Rabana, straight at 45.
The non-striker
no
was
run.
running no matter what.
Yeah.
So South Africa taking a risk here that Maharaj is going to bowl the last over now.
And if we look at this, there's saying that there hasn't been a boundary for 13 balls right at the end of the innings.
Well, there you go. Bartman in, hoiked into the leg side, and again, there's no fucking mid-wicket, and they're going to get 2 runs. It's
do we have to have so many fielders out?
well, precisely. If the ball's not going to the boundary and they're finding it hard to fucking time, surely you stick someone in there. Even if they get 1, they don't want to give them 2 to that space. 11 required off the last over. Broken bat.
That says everything.
That says everything.
Not
It's
from
got-
big hitting, that wasn't.
No, I think just heaving at the ball and getting it mistimed. It's the splice has gone.
he's nurdled his. He's misheaved it. Oh no, wait, did he? He must look like
He snapped it himself.
like an angry golfer.
Yeah, that's
Umpteenth missed
pure. That's pure. That's like a celebrity pro-am golf tournament.
bat. But I assume it was weak before
Yeah,
we
it must
managed
have
to
been.
break it over his
He
knee.
must have felt it go.
I think cricket bats are stronger than golf patters.
Should we head over to YouTube for a little bit? There's a good discussion about that's been tailed off about the if it was out, why wasn't it for? Mayank saying, I blame the English, it's their rules. And then Leah pointing out, I blame the English even if they hadn't made the rules. And then Richard, a message to you from Leah. She said, Richard, it's more likely from my country. Germany has a lot more people than Austria after all.
You always have to go a few million better, don't
There
you?
you go, classic bigger sister like younger sister combination there. And
England, Scotland, all over again.
it is. Pirate Badshaw coming with conspiracy theory. Trigger happy umpires trying to secure the match for South Africa.
Well, I got to say, that's what it felt like. Maharaj is going to have to bowl the last over, and the first ball is going to be a wide.
Messi is calling this as a super over.
Potential there. 6 required. 10 off 6 required. Got to bowl it. Got to bowl it into
Markham
the
will
pan.
never hear the end of this if South Africa lose.
Well, to a certain degree, he had to go through it, try and get the wickets and make it unwinnable. There's going to be 1 off that
Handside
ball,
is easy.
but that's Mamadula. Mind you, tailenders can often pick up the spinners as well. They're often less inclined to pay correctly and just give it the big heave-ho and mow down the line. If you can connect with 1, 6 runs will probably win the game from here.
Farong is saying Jacker Ali can hit a ball.
Well, he's got to hit one of these. That one is tossed up. Oh, and smashed back down the ground. Is it going to be 4? No, it's probably only going to be 1. They're going to throw back. They're coming back for 2. It's going to be oh no, it should have been a run out, but it wasn't. Missed by the bowler, and they got 2 for that one. So 7 required of 4.
It's such a long time since
Oh,
I've
this
watched
is
South
tense,
Africa
man.
involved in
This
an
is
exciting
great.
finish.
This is really fucking tense.
This is great.
No, it doesn't matter all that much. They'll probably get through, but
Full on Nathan Lyon there.
Yeah,
it was
Absolutely spilled it.
If he'd have got that, it would have been run out by 3 or 4 yards.
It must be a spinner's thing.
So the ball did seem to bounce quite low off the turf on its way in, to be fair. I think he was expecting a little bit higher.
7 off 4.
7 off 4. 1 boundary does it. Oh, it could be skied into the air.
Even a boundary, then 2 dot balls, who knows?
Down the track, no, he's going to be out. Oh! Jacker Ali's come down the track, he's tried to clear long on and he's been caught down there by the skipper, I think. Aidan Markram has crouched it. He looked for a minute like he got it, but no, and he caught along on 7 required off 3 runs. It's a tight fucking finish. This isn't a bear game.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Tell you what, that'd have been 6 in the IPL.
Yeah, it would have been. Absolutely, it would have been.
Well, now Markram, the man who actually took the catch and put himself there and set the spinner to bowl the 20th, will feel a little bit like a genius.
Well,
So
not only
quickly
that,
it changes.
not only that, the new rules, they didn't cross. It doesn't matter if they cross, does it? The new batsman coming in, who is going to be Rishad. I don't think we have a jingle for him. He has now basically got to face the new ball, having not faced anything. Rishad Hussain. hero or zero.
He's got to score. He's got to score straight away. He bowled well.
He's got to get at least a single. Mamadou's still there on 20 or 26, and he can certainly hit a 6. And they got 3 balls. 1-6 wins the game. Goes across his stump. A big appeal for LBW. I don't think it'll be out because I think he was hit outside the line. May well have been going on to hit the stumps. And South Africa are going to review it, which is wise, but I don't think he's out. I think he got across his stumps, was trying to heave it into the leg side, missed it, and I think it hit him outside the line of the stumps.
There were a lot of flailing legs going on there. We might be surprised, but you're probably right.
I think
7
so.
off 2 is the likely equation.
No, it'll be 6 off 2, won't it?
They squirmed through, didn't they?
They scurried.
Yeah, they scurried for a single.
Hmm.
Get 1 off this and a 4 off the last ball, we get super over. Big hit. Oh, actually. Oh, that's closer than you think. He wasn't given out, so it's closer than you think, though. That could be in line with off stump. He certainly didn't hit it. He didn't hit it. Now the question is, did that hit him in line? I thought it was outside, but actually, I'm thinking again now. I think that's the line. Is that the line of the stump on the outside?
It looks like the line of the stump on the outside.
Oh, no, that's the line of. No, it's the line of the Cox pads. I think it's just outside the line. Yeah, it was outside the line. Yeah, because that looked like it was a stump.
Yeah, it's deceptively stump-like.
But it was actually the Cox pads. Still, this is a dangerous game bowling a spinner in the last over. I guess they were trying to hunt down wickets, trying to make it a dead game, and they always knew that he was going to have to bowl it. I mean, I never used to mind bowling last overs. I always thought I could control the runs, but as a batsman, I think you desperately, as a swinger, you certainly think it's easier to hit a spinner, less pace on the ball.
And how did you like it when you were bowling a last over? Did you want the wicket keeper coming up and the captain in your ear?
Yeah, well, I was a spinner, so yeah. I always thought there was an opportunity to get wickets at the end of a game.
But do you want the advice at this point, or would you rather listen?
No, I don't need advice. I'd have my own thoughts on the whole thing, and I'd be telling them what I think. Maharaj comes in. It's a fucking stupid fucking ball. Has he got enough of that? No, he hasn't. Oh my God, Mamadou had it in the palm of his hand. It was a full toss that should have been battered over the boundary for 6 runs, and I thought he had, but he just didn't get enough length on it. No one can believe that I didn't go for 6. How did that not go for 6? You can't believe it. How did that not go for 6?
He genuinely. Was it Markram who took it again?
Yeah, it was.
He jumped up like a hungry child trying to rob an orchard. It was absolutely astonishing. But it makes it look so casual. But that is from the jaws of victory.
Snatched defeat. Oh my God. I'm not going to give him that one. That's horrible. But I'll give him this one because that's crazy. Certainly not a no ball if they're praying for that. He just didn't get enough of it. And initially you thought he had, and then you realised, oh shit, he hasn't really got enough of that. And he's going, how did that not go? Because you didn't hit it quite right.
It's a legitimate shock tactic, the full toss. I think it's his second one of the over as well, Maharaj.
Yeah, but he's trying to bowl flat and fast, isn't he? And if he gets it slightly wrong, it's going to be a full toss. He's also trying to get it pretty full. I can't believe that.
Well,
how did that not go for 6?
So far for South Africa.
Fuck me, that's lucky. That is so lucky.
So unlucky.
So unlucky.
He looks like a young player who's been on the wrong end of a paternity test. I mean, he looks absolutely devastated.
How did that not go, you say?
Oh man.
Well, 6 required off the last ball, so it's still possible. Taskin can hit a long ball. I'll try and give him a jingle, but if he... he's a lefty as well.
You can see this fella shine. He starts his run up looking real mean. If he ever gets annoyed, he's got himself a brand new ploy. He loves to get it batsman all day. Then he'll be tasking care of.
Okay, last ball of the game. It's a fucking full toss, but he's not got hold of it. It's going to be 2 probably. As the fielder from deep cover comes in, they just one run. Run 1. And then again, another low score is defended. Bangladesh finished on 109 for 7. That was a fascinating game at the end there. And God, Mamadou, he's going to have nightmares about that. Mamadou should have slammed that for 6. It was a full toss. He was in. It was straight. It was one of those ones you go, thank God for that, and smash it over the boundary and win the game. And instead he kind of toe-ended it and didn't quite get enough on it and was caught along off with 1 ball to go. 6 required off the last ball. South Africa win by 4 runs. that probably gets them through to the next round. They'll be happy. Bangladesh won one, lost one. Not the end of the world. This was probably their hardest game to go. They got 2 more to go. They should be able to get through to the Super 8s if they're playing right. And a great game all round. I thought that was fun.
It was amazing. The concept that going into this World Cup that you could tell someone that they would defend 109.
Yeah.
And then it would go to the final over of the match. You just tell them they were a madman. But this
especially if you just watch the IPL.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible to win by 4 runs with that score on the board. Incredible.
Yeah,
it also matters more than the IPL because it's countries playing.
Yes,
against
exactly.
each other,
It
but
matters much more.
Don't get me started. Also noteworthy that Maharaj was incredibly bad in both final overs.
He was
with
terrible.
bat and ball.
Yeah,
wasn't he? He was absolutely. It was a
give him
shocking
man of the
final
match
over.
though. He got 2 wickets in the final over.
He was a key player in the drama. In the
He was.
denouement twice, but in his own special way.
Yeah, Mamadou is still confused as to how the fuck that happened, but it did. And I don't know how long that boundary is, but it's long enough. And fucking hell. I'm still watching it now. He still can't believe it. It's just like, what? How did that not go? Because you didn't quite get hold of it, did you?
High full tosses can catch you unawares. Shout out for Markram as well. 4 catches.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that, and took both those catches so effortlessly, considering the pressure, considering the speed the ball was travelling at. Just plucked them out of the air, no problem. But
yeah,
it's
made
impressive.
Up for his prowess with the bat, or lack of it.
Well, I won't say the word, but considering that South Africa have a reputation for something, this is good, hard nails victory. From
Yeah. But I think that's what I mean. In the end, I think that's probably why they batted first. I think they're better at trying to control it with their bowling. And I think they thought on this wicket, if we can get some runs on the board, it was an uncomfortable chase, even chasing Sri Lanka's 70 odd the other day.
I feel like I should mention what Messi has posted on YouTube here, saying, don't know, stir up the pot, but those 4 leg byes that weren't given are now crucial.
Yep. To say that.
Well, yeah, they are. It would have been. Was that a run off the last ball? 2 off the last ball. That would have been a draw, wouldn't it? That would have been a super over.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's.
Or no.
It's not debatable in terms of the law, but you can argue that in situations like that.
Well, you can argue that the umpire
silly.
shouldn't have even entertained the fucking decision. It should have been not out, and therefore the 4 runs would have counted. I mean, we all watched that, and occasionally they get it wrong.
Effectively, it's the whole umpire's call thing that we see with DRS. Just umpire's call affected whether it was a boundary or not, which in the low score.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was the fact that it was missing. It wasn't even umpire's call. I mean, it was clearly missing.
But I mean, if he hadn't called it out first time,
exactly.
It was 4. In that sense, it's just the umpire's call determined the boundary.
Yeah. And the umpire's call seemed so obviously wrong. I mean, none of us could believe it was out. I mean, the keeper was going down leg side. It was clearly going down leg. No one else appealed apart from the bowler, and he just put his finger up really quickly, which is kind of odd.
I think bearing in mind what we were talking about before as well, we've just seen the breakdown of the run rate per 5 overs, and the lowest run rate came in the first 5 overs. And bearing in mind that we've talked a lot about how you need to try and put the runs on the board at that point, that feels the moment that they lost it.
Well, yeah. I mean, what did Quinton de Kock get? He got about 18, but he got him at about 9 balls.
Yeah,
didn't
really
he?
quickly.
Yeah, and he hit 2 6s and a 4. What did Quinton de Kock get? He got 18 in 11 balls. Highest strike rate of the game by some way, 163. Highest strike rate for Bangladesh was Mahmudullah, 108, which isn't good enough. There were only 3 players with a strike rate of 100. One of them was Taskin because he got a single off 1 ball, the last ball of the game. Tanzid Hassan scored 9 off 9 at the top of the order. But everyone else was well below. And then for South Africa, Quinton de Kock had a strike rate of 160. I mean, Heinrich Klaassen had a strike rate of 104, and he can bat at 180. Marco Janssen 100. But I mean, David Miller is David Miller, and he only has a strike rate of 76.
Absolutely incredible.
You know, it's clearly not an easy game to play. Well, Heinrich Klaassen somehow has got man of the match. What did he get? Oh, he got 46, I suppose, on 44. Match winning.
So just for the people like me who've done no homework and don't look too far into the future, this much discussed venue. Is it still on the schedule in the Super
No.
8s, or do we just move to the West Indies?
We just
now?
moved to the West Indies, and for Super
proper
8s
cricket
and the
countries.
finals once, yeah. But then that's an interesting thing, though, isn't it, Richard? Because South Africa would have played on wickets that are really pace friendly. Look, the wickets in the West Indies are very spin friendly. It has to be said. But pace off works, and what has worked here really well for South Africa is pace on, and they have plenty of pace, right? So when they go to the West Indies, it's going to actually be quite a very different game. It might bring the likes of Quinton de Kock and your top order biffers more into the game, because the ball isn't going to move around, and you kind of hope that they'll get more runs, but it'll take something away from the bowling attack, I think, when they move to the West Indies.
Indeed.
You've got you've got Shamsi in the squad as well, so they might switch to a 3 and 2. Have you got who are your all rounders? Have you got all rounders?
Well, Janssen is supposed to count as one.
Yeah, well, I suppose he does, because he bats at 7, doesn't he?
Yeah, it doesn't always come off with the bat.
No, but he's certainly capable of it.
format.
He's reasonable number 7. You probably want him at 8 in an ideal side.
I think from South African perspective, yes, conditions will change, and they may have to toy with. I mean, the game will be completely different in the West Indies, but they've mentally got a lot of sharpening up out of this pre-phase.
Yeah.
They are effectively through now, although apparently mathematically not. But given their first 3 tougher games are out the way now.
Who have they got left? Nepal?
Yeah, through.
Nepal,
I think
yeah.
it's Nepal, and is it?
That's
is there
it. You
another
only got
team in
one.
the group?
No, you only got one game.
Yeah,
left.
because you play more than everyone else.
Yeah, you've played 3 games. How come you've played 3?
Oh, the schedule.
Oh, because there's 5 teams in a league. Of course, someone's always ahead. Someone's always played 3 more than anyone else.
Will they be playing in more venues in the West Indies, like Jamaica and so on?
No, I think there's only
Move
3
ahead.
islands, and St Lucia's
poor.
got some games, Barbados has got some games, Guyana's got some games. I think there might be. Well, let's have a look. Actually, let's have a look at the
I mean,
fixtures.
is it the West Indies without Jamaica seems wrong.
Well, it does a little bit. Fixtures. Let's see, full list of fixtures. View all fixtures. So the Super 8s go to. Somewhere are they going to have the Super 8s? Let's get down.
Thanks for doing my homework for me there.
That's all right. So North Sound. Where's North Sound?
It's one of the little islands, Grenada or
North Sound. We've certainly got.
St Vincent, somewhere like that.
It's not. I don't think it's St Vincent. But Grosses Lay is St Lucia.
Yeah.
Bridgetown is Barbados.
Correct.
North Sound, Grosses Lay, Bridgetown, North Sound.
North Sound isn't Antigua, is it? Is that the other name for?
I think it's for the Sir
Stadium.
Vivian Richards Stadium. I think it is. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that's
so
embarrassing. I've actually been there. I should know that.
I know, but then who lists that not as the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium's very odd, I think.
Or even Antigua will do.
Yeah.
One or the other, yeah.
Antigua. Okay, so that's Antigua. So it's Antigua, St Lucia, and Barbados get the qualifiers, and then I think the first semi-final. No, that's Super 8. Kingstown, Jamaica, I presume. Taruba, I don't know where Taruba is. Providence is Guyana. That's so the first semi-final is in Taruba. They've had a game there already, so it's on. Don't know where it is. Providence is Guyana, and the final is in Bridgetown.
It's also a drink that's enjoyed in the north of Brazil.
So they are covering more islands. They got different phases in different places, haven't they? Because at the moment they're in Guyana and Barbados mainly.
Taruba's Trinidad, apparently.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's the
Trinidad.
Brian Lara Stadium.
Okay, so they got all the main islands covered, really. All the holiday hotspots.
There you go. That's what counts in these tournaments. We want the tourists in.
Absolutely, they're certainly doing the West Indies. Anyway, that was a fantastic game, guys. I really enjoyed that.
Great game, yeah.
It is time to go. I've got to go home and probably help cook dinner.
Yeah.
So until
Gotta cook
tomorrow.
dinner all on my own.
Well, who have we got tomorrow? Then there's no doubt we're doing the 3:30 game, aren't we? Let's go.
Can't be that interesting because I didn't volunteer for it.
But they're all quite interesting in low-scoring games. That's what's fun about it. Tomorrow, Canada-Pakistan. That could be quite fun.
That could be fun.
It could be fun. where's it
then
being
Wednesday
played?
it goes mad. There's 3 games on Wednesday.
Yeah, there's one day where there's 4 games. It's back here at New York, so it very much could be fun. Pakistan could fucking fuck that up and lose to Canada. They've lost to the United States already at this place. They must hate New York. But we shall say goodbye to you all now, and we'll see you tomorrow at around the same time, 3 in the afternoon. Good to see you, Rich. See you later.
Cheerio.
James.
See you, Rich. Bye.
Bye.
Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro,